All right. Go ahead and stand up, everyone.
Oh, one got added.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Stand up, like I said. All right.
All right, now you can be seated. Thank you. What? I started to. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for Wednesday, March 19th.
¿Qué tal? Buenos días a todos. Soy la comisionada Hughes y este es el calendario de las 8 de la mañana de la audiencia de comparecencia inicial del día 19 de marzo del 2025.
Good morning, Mr. Interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Do you want to make your appearance for the recording?
Roberto Wilson, Court Interpreter.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, the court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of March will apply to the hearings on this calendar.
Las órdenes del tribunal de que la oficina del comisario les tome sus huellas dactilares y muestras de ADN que fueron realizadas en el calendario del primer día del mes deberán de aplicarse a todas las causas de este calendario.
As we get started in here this morning, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time.
Conforme los vaya llamando por su nombre, cada uno de ustedes van a pasar y van a estar aquí al frente de la sala.
I will ask one person to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I will ask the next two people I intend to call into the courtroom to line up in the two chairs right inside this door.
A la primera persona que llame le voy a pedir por favor que pase aquí a este podium gris que está aquí frente a mí y se pare detrás del podium, y después le voy a pedir a las siguientes dos personas que voy a llamar que se sienten en las sillas que están a la entrada.
Once you work your way into the courtroom and you're behind the podium, the first thing I will do is ask you to state your full name and date of birth.
Lo primero que van a hacer después de que les llame y se paren detrás del podium es preguntarles su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento.
After that, I will explain to you why you're here this morning, and I will tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, sometimes called a public defender, to represent you.
Después de eso les voy a decir cuáles son las acusaciones que tienen en su contra y les voy a decir si califican para la asistencia a un abogado asignado por el tribunal, que muchas veces se conoce como abogado de la Defensoría Pública.
Whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, you always have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense to represent you if you don't qualify for a court-appointed lawyer or if you'd rather use a private lawyer.
Si ustedes no califican para poder contar con la asistencia de un abogado de la Defensoría Pública, ustedes pueden contratar a un abogado privado por sus propios medios, ya que este es un derecho que ustedes tienen. También, si ustedes desean contratar los servicios de un abogado privado, aunque califiquen para tener los servicios de un abogado asignado por la Defensoría Pública, ustedes pueden hacerlo.
After we talk about whether you get a court-appointed lawyer, I will give you the next court hearing dates and times you'll be required to attend after this court hearing.
Después de que hablemos acerca de si califican o no para tener un abogado de la Defensoría Pública, les voy a dar sus próximas fechas de audiencia, ubicación y hora.
The last thing we'll do while you're in the courtroom is talk about whether you are legally eligible for release from custody this morning. If you are, we will talk about on what terms and conditions you will be released.
Y lo último que vamos a hablar cuando estén aquí en la sala es acerca de sus medidas cautelares. Esto es, si ustedes legalmente pueden ser puestos en libertad y si es así, bajo qué términos y condiciones.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this morning can be used against you.
Ustedes tienen el derecho de guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que ustedes digan el día de hoy aquí en la sala podría ser usado en su contra.
Last thing I'll tell you before we get started is that all of the information you get while you're in the courtroom will be contained in a written document that you will get a copy of when you're done in here and you step back into that room.
Y lo último que les voy a decir antes de que iniciemos es que todo lo que toda la información que les demos cuando estén aquí en la sala se les va a entregar también por escrito en un paquete de información que se les va a dar al final.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I please have Julio Ruiz Santis all the way into the courtroom, please?
Vamos a empezar. Julio Ruiz Santis, por favor, si gusta pasar a la sala.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Me puede dar su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Me llamo Julio César Ruiz Santis, 8 de septiembre del 96.
My name is Julio Cesar Ruiz Santis, September 8, 1996.
Thank you very much. You are here on two different matters. The first is a bench warrant issued when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony driving under the influence case.
El primer caso por el que está aquí es por una orden para su arresto que fue liberada porque no compareció a una consulta de actualización de un caso que tiene pendiente de manejar bajo la influencia de alcohol o drogas con agravante.
In that case, you already have a lawyer assigned to you. That lawyer will continue to defend you.
En ese caso usted ya tiene asignado un abogado que lo está representando y ese abogado va a continuar representándolo en ese caso.
Your next court hearings in that existing case will be a status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
Sus próximas audiencias en ese caso van a ser el 25 de marzo para una consulta de actualización y el 27 de marzo para una audiencia preliminar, ambas a las 8:30 de la mañana en las instalaciones del Tribunal Superior en el centro de Phoenix.
On the warrant in that existing case, you have a $150 secured appearance bond.
En ese caso usted tiene una fianza de $150 con garantía para que se pueda presentar a esa audiencia.
The second matter that you're here on is an allegation of a new charge.
Y el segundo caso por el cual usted está aquí presente es una segunda alegato de otra acusación.
That allegation is one count of aggravated driving under the influence, a Class 4 felony.
Esa acusación es un alegato de que usted estaba bajo la influencia de alcohol o drogas, que usted estaba conduciendo bajo la influencia de alcohol o drogas con agravante, que es un delito clase 4.
I have found probable cause to support that new allegation, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you.
He determinado que exhibe motivo fundado de procesamiento para los alegatos de esa acusación y le he asignado un abogado para que lo defienda en ese caso.
Your first two hearings on that new allegation will be the same as your hearings in the existing case. So you'll have a status conference the 25th and a preliminary hearing the 27th, both at 8:30 downtown.
Las fechas para sus próximas audiencias de este nuevo caso van a ser las mismas del otro caso que tiene, que va a ser el 25 de marzo para una consulta de actualización y el 27 de marzo para una audiencia preliminar. Le ha asignado un abogado para que lo represente en este nuevo caso y estas audiencias se van a llevar a cabo también a las 8:30 de la mañana en las instalaciones del Tribunal Superior en el centro de Phoenix.
The difference is that on that new allegation, because it is a felony offense alleged to have been committed while you were on release in that existing case, you are not eligible for release on bond.
La única diferencia en este nuevo caso es que como este es un caso de un delito que usted cometió mientras estaba en libertad después de haber cometido un ilícito del primer caso, usted va a estar detenido sin posibilidad de fianza.
On the new allegation, you will be held in custody without bond at least until one additional hearing is held March 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
En este nuevo caso, usted va a estar detenido sin posibilidad de fianza, al menos hasta que se lleve a cabo una audiencia que se va a llevar a cabo el día 26 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Because you are not eligible for release on the new allegation, at least until after that hearing on the 26th, I encourage you not yet to try to post your bond on that existing case.
Y como usted no puede, usted no está en posibilidad de poder ser liberado por estos nuevos alegatos, al menos hasta después de esta audiencia del día 26 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde, le voy a pedir que no trate de pagar la fianza que tiene establecida en el primer caso, al menos hasta después de que se lleve a cabo esta audiencia.
Do you understand those conditions?
¿Entendió todas estas condiciones?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Ok, muchas gracias y puede pasar para recoger sus documentos.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Interpreter, he was the only individual I already had marked as requesting a Spanish interpreter. Before you disconnect, can I ask you to make an inquiry of the gallery to make sure we're not missing somebody that might need your assistance?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Habrá alguna otra persona que requiera los servicios de intérprete en español?
Okay, I'm told no hands were raised. Thank you very much for your assistance. You are free to disconnect.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay, can I please have Melissa Mata into the courtroom behind the gray podium? Ben Pham, if I could ask you to work your way to that first chair inside the door. Philip Augustus, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Melissa Mata, 01/24/1986.
Thank you, Ms. Mata. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of interfering with judicial proceedings, and 1 count of assault. Those last 2 are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th, and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Because at least one of these allegations is a felony offense alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in a different felony drug case, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody without bail, at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing is scheduled for March 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Between now and that hearing on the 26th, you will be held without bond. Do you understand that information?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mata. You can step back and get your paperwork. Ben Pham to the podium in the courtroom, please. Henry Lopez, if you would please work your way to that second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Wendy Pham, April 14, 1973.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pham. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of assisting in a criminal syndicate, 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale, 3 counts of dangerous drug possession for sale. All of those are Class 2 felonies. 1 count of distributing unlicensed contraband, 1 count of selling untaxed cigarettes, 1 count of unlicensed distribution, 1 count of illegal control of an enterprise. Those are all Class 3 felonies. 1 count of narcotic drug possession, 3 counts of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense. Those are all Class 4 felonies. 1 count of purchasing an unlicensed tobacco product, 1 count of money laundering, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession. Those are all Class 6 felonies. 1 count of manufacturing or intending to sell unlicensed tobacco, and 1 count of selling a luxury good without a tax stamp. Those last 2 are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those offenses, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 27th, and then a preliminary hearing, a status conference March 25th. Status conference March 25th, preliminary hearing the 27th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $100,000 cash-only bond. If you post that prior to your release from custody, you will be affixed with an ankle monitor for electronic monitoring. If you post that bond and you're released on that ankle monitor, you are ordered not to have contact with any alleged witnesses or co-defendants of any of these allegations. You also cannot possess any weapons, drugs without a valid prescription, or possess or consume any alcohol if you are released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pham. You can step back and get your paperwork. Philip Augustus to the podium in the courtroom, please. Angela Miller, if you would please work your way to that second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Philip Augustus, 04/18/2002.
Thank you, Mr. Augustus. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of taking contraband into a correctional facility, 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale, 1 count of dangerous drug possession for transportation or sale, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for transportation or sale. All of those are Class 2 felonies. And finally, 1 count of money laundering. That's a Class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $25,000 cash-only bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses or co-defendants of the underlying allegations, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription if you are released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Augustus. You can step back and get your paperwork. Henry Lopez, to the podium in the courtroom, please. Mary Lane, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Henry Lopez, 369, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez.
I also request, Your Honor, sorry to interrupt you, whenever the court sees fit to speak to the judge, to Your Honor.
So let me get through what I have to get through, and then I will give you a warning before you speak. But I'll give you an opportunity here at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lopez. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that alleges a new allegation against you. In this case, the allegation is one count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It's a class 4 felony. According to the direct complaint, it is alleged to have been committed July 24th of 2020. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against that allegation. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing the 27th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I have affirmed the bond on the arrest warrant. It is a $10,000 secured appearance bond. Secured appearance means that you can use a bonding company to post that bond if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you're released from custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your next court hearings, and you are ordered not to possess any weapons if you are released from custody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, I will give you an opportunity to address the court. I will caution you very strongly against making any statements regarding the facts of this case. I don't have the facts. I just have the warrant, and you don't have a lawyer here, but you're entitled to one when you address the court.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm willing to listen to what you have to say, but keep in mind anything you say could later be used against you.
Yes, ma'am. I just want the court to know on record that for the past 5 years, I've been married. I've changed my life as of the court ordered me to change my life. I'm not saying my past wasn't my past, but I did change my life. I haven't had police contact in over 3 years, almost 4 years. Been married, new house just bought Friday. I'm not saying try to. I listened to the court. I changed my life. I graduated probation, IPS, all the classes, never had any hiccups. So I just want the court to take into consideration that I have been following the court's order to a T for the last 5 years of my life without any issues.
Understood. Thank you very much for that information. I commend you on those efforts. I hope that all continues to stay the case. It doesn't change anything I'm doing here, but it could change at your next court hearing. So when you get to your next court hearing, talk to your lawyer, give all that your lawyer will probably know that because they'll probably pull your history and see that, but talk to your lawyer about that. You and your lawyer can talk about what pieces of that would be relevant to the trial court, and your lawyer can present that at your next hearing.
Yes, ma'am. And I was told to tell you also, ask about Veterans Court when I came in here.
So Veterans Court is a post-adjudication therapeutic or treatment court, so it remains an option for you if and when you get to adjudication. In this case, talk to your lawyer about that too. If you're eligible for that and it remains an option for you, your lawyer will know how to get you enrolled in Veterans Court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor. So I just have a bond?
You have a bond, yeah, but you can use a bonding company to get it posted.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lopez. You can step back and get your paperwork. Angela Miller to the podium in the courtroom, please. Miguel Navarro, if you please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Angela Miller, 11/26/75.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are one count of taking the identity of another and one count of possession of a forged instrument. Both of them are class 4 felonies, both alleged to have been committed January 18th of 2025. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on these allegations, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot have contact with alleged victims and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Miller. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mary Lane to the podium in the courtroom, please. Isaac Naides to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, it's Mary Catherine Lane, 2/14/1967.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. You are here on an arrest warrant issued by the Pinal County Superior Court. I do not know whether Pinal County has given you a lawyer in that case or not. I also don't know what stage of the proceedings you're in Pinal County, so I don't know whether you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. But if you are entitled to one and you don't have one yet, the Pinal County Court will appoint a lawyer for you at your next hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning in the Pinal County Superior Court. And on that warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you're released, in addition to getting yourself to that hearing in Pinal County on the 24th, you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lane. You can step back and get your paperwork. Miguel Navarro to the podium in the courtroom, please. Luis Naides to the second chair. Miguel Navarro. Looks like he has a red shirt, long hair.
Hey, do you have him right there? Miguel Navarro, his picture?
Yes.
He's, the long hair guy. Hey, Miguel?
No, that's not him.
You don't have him? Yes, Miguel Navarro.
Isaac, if you want to come on in while we look for him, I would appreciate that.
He's a nice fellow. And Miguel Navarro.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Isaac, March 25th, 95.
What's your last name, Isaac?
Nidez.
Nidez. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nidez. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing the 27th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that new allegation, I have imposed a $500 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both allegations that that new charge violated Term 1 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer for you in both of those probation cases. In each of the 2 probation cases, your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the probation matters, you have a total secured appearance bond of $750. That means your total bond for all 3 cases will be $1,250, all secured appearance. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where the alleged new trespassing offense took place, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nidez. You can step back and get your paperwork. Luis Nidez to the podium in the courtroom, please. Mary Cherry, if I could ask you to work your way to that first chair. Mauricio English Green, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Luis Diego Nidez, January 25th, 2000.
Thank you, Mr. Nidez. You are here on 5 different matters. The first one is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing on that new allegation will be a status conference March 25th. That'll be followed by a preliminary hearing the 27th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that new allegation, I've imposed a $500 secured appearance bond. The other 4 matters you're here on are all allegations that that new charge violated Term 1 of your probation. In all 4 of the probation cases, I've appointed a lawyer for you. Your next court hearing in all 4 probation matters will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of those 4 probation matters, I've imposed a $500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond for all 5 cases you're here on will be $2,500. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription, and you cannot return to the location where the alleged new trespassing offense took place. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mary Cherry to the podium in the courtroom, please. Brandon Kocher, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, Mary Frances Cherry, July 9th, 1978.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cherry. You are here on 3 different matters. The first 2 are arrest warrants issued after direct complaints were filed alleging new allegations against you. The first direct complaint alleges 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence, both class 4 felonies alleged to have been committed May 26th of 2022. The second direct complaint also alleges 2 counts of driving under the influence, 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence, also class 4 felonies. Those 2 alleged to have been committed June 7th of 2022. In both of those cases involving new allegations, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings in each of those 2 cases will be the same. You will have a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th on each case. In each of those 2 cases, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. So $1,000 secured appearance total on the new felony offenses. The third and final matter you're here on is a failure to appear warrant issued by the Desert Ridge Justice Court, that one on a misdemeanor driving on a suspended license case. On that misdemeanor warrant, you're entitled to a lawyer for purposes of release conditions, and I've appointed one for you in that matter as well. Your next hearing on the misdemeanor warrant will be an arraignment hearing March 24th at 8:30, that one in the Desert Ridge Justice Court. On that warrant, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $1,050. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, and you cannot operate a motor vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cherry. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mauricio English Green to the podium in the courtroom, please. Albert Yazzie, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Mauricio English Green, and August 21st, 1989. As I'd like to tell you before we start, if you don't mind, Your Honor, I say I apologize to the court, to the system. I'm trying my best to get things right. I'm homeless by myself, and I don't expect no special treatments, anything like that. I really do need help with this situation. Like I said, I'm by myself. I really need help. I can't continue coming back and forth behind the court to the court system behind the same case I just did 90 days 3 months ago.
Okay. Well, I haven't even told you what you're here yet for, so let's start there.
Okay.
You're here on a petition to revoke your probation. That petition to revoke alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer to defend you, so it is your lawyer that you'll want to talk to about how to get help getting out of this situation. Your next court hearing, where you'll meet with that lawyer, will be a revocation arraignment March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. You do have a $500 secured appearance bond on that warrant, so if you post that bond, you'll be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing. If you don't, you'll stay in custody and be transported to that court hearing where you'll meet with your lawyer and the probation judge. It is the combination of your lawyer and the probation court that can help craft appropriate terms to supervise your probation if your probation is to be reinstated at that time. Do you understand the information I'm telling you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions?
Page 9, trying to see, I gotta see. Once this is over, is there a way I can be able to, get help to try to get out of the state?
Talk to your lawyer. You need to talk to your lawyer and the probation court about how you move forward from here.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. English Green. You can step back and get your paperwork. Albert Yazzie to the podium in the courtroom, please. Lindsay Smith, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Good morning. My name is Albert Yazzie Jr., June 18, 1980.
Thank you, Mr. Yazzie. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against... Sorry, I think you're here on a warrant, actually. You're here on a warrant issued... It's an initial arrest warrant alleging new allegations against you.
Huh?
So it looks like the El Centro Justice Court issued a warrant for your arrest. That warrant alleges 2 counts of theft and 2 counts of criminal damage. It looks like one pairing, so 1 theft, 1 criminal damage is alleged to have been committed February 20th of 2025. The second count of each is alleged to have been committed March 5th of 2025.
Huh.
You are entitled to a lawyer for purposes of release conditions on that warrant. That lawyer will be appointed at your next court hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the El Centro Justice Court, and you have a $250 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where any of the underlying allegations took place or have contact with victims or witnesses if there are any and you know who they are. You also cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription if you're released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, and can I also say something?
You can. I will remind you, you don't have a lawyer here, though, and anything you say could be used against you.
No, I just want this to record it. All the allegations that no one read me my Miranda rights until I got here.
Okay. Talk to your lawyer about that. So on these new misdemeanor allegations, you'll have a lawyer present at your next court hearing. Let your lawyer know that. So we do have it on the recording. It is stated for the recording. But talk to your lawyer about that. Your lawyer can tell you what rights that entitles you to and can present that to the next court.
All right. I just wanted to record it because nobody read me my Miranda rights until I was being transported downtown.
Okay. Got it on the recording. Talk to your lawyer about what effect that has.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Yazzie. You can step back and get your paperwork. Brandon Couture to the podium in the courtroom, please. Dezane Hollier, if you would work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Brandon Couture, February 1992.
Thank you very much. You are here on 4 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespassing, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support the trespassing and paraphernalia allegations. I have not found probable cause to support the dangerous drug allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, and I've appointed one to defend you against those new allegations. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing the 27th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations that I have found probable cause to support, I have imposed a $250 secured appearance bond. The other 3 matters you're here on are all probation violation warrants. In all 3 of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 probation cases. Your next hearing in each of those cases will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of those 3 probation warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond for all 4 cases will be $550. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged trespassing offense took place, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription or any weapons. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Couture. You can step back and get your paperwork. Lindsay Smith to the podium in the courtroom, please. Ian McCloskey to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Lindsay Smith, 10/31/88.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown, and you have a $100 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. You can step back and get your paperwork. Dezane Hollier to the podium in the courtroom, please. I'm not sure which order this name goes. Either Atkinson Casey or Casey Atkinson, if you would work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Dejanay Hollier, 8/15/94.
Thank you, Ms. Hollier. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 2 counts of assault and 4 counts of disorderly conduct. They are all Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing April 8th. It'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Peoria Municipal Court, and I am releasing you on your own recognizance with several conditions. First, once you are released from custody, it will be your responsibility to get yourself to the Peoria Municipal Court April 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Next, once you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying events allegedly took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. You also cannot possess any weapons, and you cannot consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Last thing, once you are released from custody, if any orders of protection have already been or are later served upon you, you must strictly comply with the terms of those orders of protection. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hollier. You can step back and get your paperwork. Ian McCloskey to the podium in the courtroom, please. Nicole Azanara, if you would work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Ian McCluskey, 3/20/77.
Thank you, Mr. McCloskey. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 3rd, and then a preliminary hearing April 7th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance. That means you will be released from custody. It will then be your responsibility to get yourself to both of your next court hearings. Once you are released from custody, you are prohibited from possessing any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Casey Atkinson, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Sean Morrison, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
My name is Casey Atkinson, and my birthday is 05/15/2005.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atkinson. You are here on 2 different matters. The first is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend you.
Thank you.
Your next court hearings on those new allegations will be a status conference April 3rd and then a preliminary hearing April 7th. They will both be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown.
Yes, ma'am.
The second matter that you're here on is a warrant issued by the Buckeye Municipal Court. It is an initial arrest warrant that alleges 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor.
Criminal damage?
Yes, criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. It looks like they're both alleged to have been committed April I can't tell if it's a 6, 8, April 18th of 2023. 2023, April 18th, 2023 is the alleged offense date. The warrant was issued April 20th of March 20th. April 18th, 2023 is the alleged offense date. Warrant was issued March 20th of 2024. On the misdemeanor warrant, on the Buckeye warrant, because they're misdemeanor offenses, the nature of those allegations does not entitle you to a court-appointed lawyer. So what that means is on those Buckeye misdemeanor allegations, if you want to be represented by a lawyer, you will have to hire a lawyer to defend you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court hearing on the misdemeanor allegations will be an arraignment hearing April 8th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Buckeye Municipal Court. And on both of these matters, I am releasing you on your own recognizance. So please keep your paperwork and make sure you're in the Superior Court on April 3rd and April 7th, and then make sure that you make your way to the Buckeye Court April 8th at 2 o'clock. If you miss any of those court hearings, those courts will issue new warrants for your arrest, and at some point you'd end up back here and have to do this all again until you get yourself to court.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you're out of custody, you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay. And I just have one final question for you. Is your last name Atkinson or Atkisson?
It's Atkisson.
Okay, it is Atkisson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
See, I believe what happened was I didn't get any information about my warrant or me having a warrant because I think they had spelled my name wrong and I never got any paperwork.
I think your name is right on the warrant.
Is it?
Oh, no, on the warrant it is wrong.
Okay, then that's probably where they
so the address on the warrant, now I don't know because this warrant didn't originate out of this court, so I don't know if the court tried to mail a copy of the summons to you or not. Sometimes courts just go straight to a warrant. They just issue a warrant, and when you're arrested on it, that's how you find out about it. Sometimes they try to mail it to you first. I don't know what happened in the Buckeye case because it's not here, but it looks like the address listed on the warrant. I won't list the whole address on the recording, but it looks like it's on North Tanya Street in El Mirage. So if that's not where you live, you might want to contact the Buckeye court and get your right address on file with them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any final questions, comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Atkinson. You can step back and get your paperwork. Nicole Azanara to the podium in the courtroom, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Nicole Azanara, April 2nd, 1992.
Thank you very much, Ms. Azanara. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession. It is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 3rd and then a preliminary hearing April 7th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so it will be your responsibility to get to both of those court hearings. Once you are released from custody, you are prohibited from possessing any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Sean Morrison, if you would please work your way into the courtroom.
Hi, Your Honor. I don't mean to be annoying, but I've been doing this circle dance with this whole trying to get to court.
Oh, this is fun, man. State your name and date of birth for me.
Sean Morrison, 210 and 79.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Morrison. The good news is, or maybe good news is, I'm not seeing you on a failure to appear warrant. So I'm guessing you're telling me you're picking up warrants because you're in custody?
Yeah. I'm trying to get the OR on whatever cases you're seeing me on right now. I can show you that I've been in custody since.
No, I believe you, but I'm not seeing you, and I'm going to release you OR on this warrant, but I have you on a failure to comply with court terms warrant, so I think it's probably failing to pay a fine or something.
Yeah, that's all it is. And I've been in custody, and they were supposedly arresting me on that warrant.
Yeah.
But then they took me in for questioning for some other stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was, man.
So I don't know
I'm trying to get
with
court.
that. But here's what I have. So I have a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Santan Justice Court.
Yes.
It looks like the underlying allegation is disorderly conduct.
Yes.
Okay, because it is a post-adjudication misdemeanor matter, that means you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer.
Yeah.
If you want a lawyer, you do still have the right to hire one. Your next hearing on this warrant will be an arraignment hearing April 8th.
Okay.
It'll be at 9 o'clock in the Santan Justice Court, and I am releasing you on your own recognizance on this warrant. So that's not going to release you if you're in custody on something else, but if you're eligible for release on things.
Right now, I had 2 warrants right now.
I just have one. I just have you on one.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome. I don't know what's going on
I don't
with
want
anything else.
I'm just hoping, because I'm trying to go to Cornerstone, a treatment place, and I've been trying so fucking hard, but.
Are you eligible for release on what you're being held on other than this warrant?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing my dance right now, to get all the other stuff, all of it taken care of to go, and then I'm gonna go there, and hopefully I'll get everything taken care of from there on.
When you once you're out and you go to Cornerstone or wherever you end up, please make sure you let them know in the intake process that you've got court hearings, because if you're there for treatment, I don't want you to pick up, okay, perfect, but make sure they know about them all.
Thank you, all
right.
I don't want to have to see you again.
I'm not taking that personally. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. All right, number 17 on the calendar, Anthony Norman, date of birth 1/26/88, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population by refusing staff orders. He is here on 3 different matters. The first is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of forgery, a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that new allegation, he has a $5,000 secured appearance bond. Miguel Navarro, if you'll work your way into the courtroom, please. The other 2 matters he's here on are both probation violation warrants. In both cases, I have appointed a lawyer to defend him. The allegation being the new charge is a violation of term 1. His next court hearing on the 2 probation matters will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on the 2 probation matters, he is not eligible for release on bond. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth, please? If you take one quick step to your, yep, there you go. All right.
Navarro, 738.
Thank you very much, Mr. Navarro. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You have a lawyer already assigned to you in that case. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Navarro. You can step back and get your paperwork. Last on the calendar, number 13, Arthur Roy Mahan, date of birth 3/22/58, is not in the courtroom because he is being held in closed custody for the safety of others. He is here on a warrant issued by the Goodyear Municipal Court in a misdemeanor assault disorderly conduct case. I am not making any orders regarding his entitlement to a court-appointed lawyer. His next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing April 2nd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am releasing him on his own recognizance on that warrant. If anything changes after I visit those individuals' cell side, the court's final orders will be reflected in the written release orders that will be uploaded to ISIS. This court will now stand in recess until 11 a.m.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Jill.
Morning, thank you.
Would it be okay if we start with the juvenile?
Yes, assuming there's counsel at the jail.
Yeah.
Which one is the juvenile? Is that Powell?
Your Honor, this is Court Interpreter Pedro Davis. Are we in session yet? I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes, we are in session. I don't see any interpreter matters. Can we confirm with the jail? Do we need an interpreter today?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. You're excused.
Thank you. I'll log off. Thank you.
All right. Do we have counsel at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
Thank you. All right, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Roger Powell.
Middle name, James?
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Powell. This is your time set for your initial appearance. I know we've been reset a couple of times. I'm seeing you today on your felony charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, alleged to be a domestic violence offense. It's a felony matter. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purposes of today. I believe this was reset several times because they were trying to confirm some approved housing for you outside of the residence that you were living in with your mother. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, the most recent one. I believe it says there could be potential housing with uncle in Tempe. I believe the state $1,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to add anything further?
No, Your Honor, state submits on the written record.
Great, thank you. Defense counsel?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We would argue that, because of his young age and the fact that he lacks any prior criminal history or interactions with this court, we believe that $15,000 bond, which is going to be borne by his family and not by him, is much too high in this case. We would ask in the alternative that a nominal bond be placed of $1,000 secured, or he'd be released to pretrial services. He does have housing. He does have places that he can stay and reside, and they have indicated that they are willing to take care of him while this matter is concluded. So we would ask for a much more nominal bond to this matter.
And other than what's in the pretrial services report, do you know anything else about Uncle in Tempe?
Frankly, Your Honor, no, I don't. I haven't received any information.
All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Sir, if you post that bond, or if you have a family member help you post that bond, you're going to be released to pretrial. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. No firearms. Monitoring treatment if they tell you to test, etc. Do not have any contact with Joshua Osborne. I think that's your stepdad. Don't have any contact with him. You can have contact with your mom, but not with Mr. Osborne. You'll have to stay somewhere else other than that house. So maybe your uncle's place or somewhere else. Okay. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. This is in felony adult court, okay? So this is serious. You got to make sure you take this, get this taken care of. Keep in contact with the attorney. All right, you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, you're excused for today, Mr. Powell. Thank you.
So it's a secured bond, and that family has to put up 10%, so they took up $100 in cash, and the rest of the property or vehicle or something. Okay, so my mom's not in jail. Like she's, I don't know anything about your mother. But she picked my dog. I'm terribly sorry. I can't advise you about what's going on with your mother's case. Okay. That's the bond in your case, and that's what I'm asking you. So you can call the public. Counsel, you're not muted. Sorry. I understand. Giving him just general information.
All right. Do you have the recommendations I sent you though?
You know what? I'm pretty sure I do. I
didn't know which banner to send them to. Didn't know which banner to send them to.
You're good. I do have them. I have them on the share.
Very good.
Thank you. They're going to take you back.
And Defense Counsel, can I get your name, please?
Yeah, Jonathan Becker.
Thank you.
Sorry, counsel. I saw Becker. I didn't know which one.
Don't even worry about it. You're fine. I didn't know there were multiple Beckers.
There's a Jennifer, but I don't know what role she fills in the county.
No clue either.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jose Martin Hurtado.
Good morning, Mr. Hurtado. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a misdemeanor failure to appear charge for leaving the scene of an accident. Looks like this occurred back in April of 2024, and you missed some court dates, sir. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to set some release conditions for you, sir, because you had a couple court dates that you failed to appear for in Tucson City Court. And it looks like you also have an adult probation hold in Superior Court. So you're going to be held anyways on that thing. So I'm going to issue a bond of $250 in this case. It's going to be cash or secured. Appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. So you're going to have an attorney on your misdemeanor case. Your next court date is going to be March 28th at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen via video. And looks like you also have a civil charge in Tucson City Court that you defaulted in. So just be aware of that. That means you failed to appear for that civil default case as well. All right. Your next court date's March 28th, sir. If you fail to appear for court, if you post that bond and the adult probation hold is lifted, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court next week. You understand all that?
Yeah, kind of. What was my charge? I'm sorry.
It was leaving the scene of an accident. It was.
I thought it took my insurance and everything to the judge and everything.
Well, the case was still pending. It's not complete yet. It looks like you missed a couple court dates in March and in February. I'm not sure if you showed up in December, so you'll see Judge Surio on March 28th.
Okay.
All right, you're excused for today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Joshua Isaiah Tapia.
Morning, Mr. Tapia. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a misdemeanor charge of assault out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Douglas Taylor, to represent you in this case. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. It looks like you have a Tucson City Court bond already on something else. I'm just seeing you on the Justice Court case today because you're already in custody on the Tucson City Court case. I am going to impose a bond in the assault matter, $250, cash or secured. If you do post that, sir, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the named victim in this case. Don't go trying to find him or anything else. Your next court date is actually tomorrow, the 20th at 1 p.m. You'll be seen via video, and then your attorney should be there. If you fail to appear for court, if you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up if you get out of custody. Understand all that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Released, but since it's just, of course, it's being held on 250.
This one is 250. I think you have a separate bond on the Tucson case.
Okay, but I was released before that, right?
No, this is new. I don't know what happened in the Tucson case, but there's a bond on your Tucson case now, and then this is a new thing that happened, I think, in the jail, I think. So.
Just inside the jail. That's why I didn't get released, but I was released, correct?
I can't answer that, sir. I see that there's a $500 bond on the City Court case.
Yeah. And then she said it's something about an additional 2 payments. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Excuse for today, sir. You'll be seen tomorrow with the judge.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jeffrey Isaiah Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So this is the time set for a review hearing on your Maricopa County warrant for narcotic drugs and paraphernalia. I believe you have some stuff locally with Justice Court, a probation violation, and then you have some Superior Court cases in Pima County. Do you know what's happening with your Superior Court cases?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think my attorney came to see me, but not too sure.
Okay.
What he was.
Looks like they're still ongoing. Do you know if you have like a plea, change of plea or anything set?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is it plea a pre-trial conference? Pre-trial conference and a change of plea. March 24th. March 24th.
Okay, so that's next week. All right, so we'll reset this review hearing on your Maricopa County warrant to April 21st, 2025 at 9 a.m. Just to see what's going on with the Superior Court stuff locally, okay?
Okay.
All right, your excuse for today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Manny C.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Elder,
Is your middle name Renee?
one more time.
Is your middle name Renee?
Yeah, Renee Lee.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Elder. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some misdemeanor charges, disorderly conduct, and assault alleged to be domestic violence out of Marana City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Ma'am, you currently reside on Orange Grove, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Your next court date is going to be April 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Marana City Court. You're going to get paperwork on the address and all that. April 23rd at 10 a.m. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, so make sure you show up to that date. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. Don't have any contact with Kevin Hamlin. He doesn't want contact with you. He's the named victim in the case. Do not have any contact with him while this case is pending. Don't go to his residence or try to find him at work or anything like that. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You're excused for today, Ms. Elder. Thank you.
All right.
All right, ma'am, you want to stand up? Okay. Sit back with the email door. Michael, you're next.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Brandon Scott Mickle.
Thank you, Mr. Mickle. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new misdemeanor charges out of Pima County Justice Court for assault, preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency, and disorderly conduct. They're alleged to be domestic violence offenses. I also see that you have a pending Pima County Justice Court case and some Tucson City Court cases for similar offenses. I'm just here to talk about your Pima County Superior Court or Pima County Justice Court new charges, but just letting you know you have those other things going on.
Yeah.
All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In this case, I am appointing Doug Taylor to represent you.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like your mother in this case, Daniela Real, she does not want any contact with you in this case. So I'm going to order no contact whatsoever with her.
Okay.
All right. And she has safety concerns. You know, she doesn't want you to have contact.
Yeah.
All right. No, you don't have to tell me anything. All right. And also because you are pending these other cases, sir, I am going to order a bond in this case. It looks like your mother was the named victim in those other pending cases as well. I'm going to order a bond of $1,000 in this case. It's going to be cash. All right. No drugs, no alcohol, no acts of domestic violence. If you're able to post that bond, no firearms. Do not have contact with your mother whatsoever while the cases are going on. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 20th, so that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Your attorney will be there. If you're still in custody tomorrow, you'll be seen by video. If you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you fail to appear for
I can't get released by today.
if you post the bond, you post the bond, you can get
$1,000.
yes.
$1,000.
All right. If you fail to show up to court, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. You're excused for today.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Morning.
Good morning. Can I get your name, please?
Martin Antonio Nino Jr., miss.
Thank you, Ms. Nino. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for a failure to appear out of South Tucson City Court for shoplifting. Also seeing you on Tucson City Court cases, failure to appear for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, drug paraphernalia, additional counts of criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your South Tucson City Court case, I'm appointing Michael Vaughn to represent you. And on your Tucson City Court case, sir, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir, because you have had a number of failures to appear. It looks like the shoplifting is from 2023, so it's kind of old, okay? You got to get it taken care of. I'm going to order a bond in the South Tucson City Court case of $250 cash. If you do post it, no drugs, no alcohol. Do not go to the business wherever this happened. Your next...
Yes.
No, I'm ordering a bond of $250, sir, because you failed to appear for... All right? Next court date is tomorrow, March 20th at 10 a.m. If you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up. If you're still in custody, no. You have a court date tomorrow on March 20th at 10 a.m. If you're still in jail, the jail will make sure you get seen by video. If you post the bond, then it's up to you to make sure you show up. Okay? If you fail to appear, warrant can issue again. All right, on your Tucson City Court cases, sir. I'm also going to order a bond of $250. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not go to the incident locations. Next court date is going to be March 28th at 1:45 p.m.
Okay.
All right. Again, if you fail to appear, warrant can issue again. You want to make sure you get these taken care of. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Excuse for today, Mr. Nino.
All right, thank you. Vote. Morning.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
James Treasurer Rowe.
Thank you. Mr. Rowe, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear out of Tucson City Court for criminal trespass and littering. and also out of Pima County Justice Court for threatening and intimidating from trespass, disorderly conduct, interference with judicial proceedings. These are all misdemeanors. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your Pima County Justice Court cases, I'm appointing Doug Taylor to represent you. Okay, and I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office on your Tucson City Court case. All right, sir, I'm going to post some release conditions. You have multiple DV cases going on right now, and looks like you also have, you're actually on probation on a DV case out of Tucson City Court. You have an active order of protection against you with Loreto Trujillo is the one that requested it. All right. And she's the named victim of these new cases as well. So I'm going to order a bond in your justice court case of $1,500 cash. No drugs, no alcohol if you post it, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms, absolutely no contact with Ms. Trujillo. Do not try to find her. Don't go to her house, anything like that. You have the active order protection and it's active for 2 years. So that's still in effect. All right, your next court date for the Justice Court is going to be March 20th at 1 p.m. You're still in custody by tomorrow. The jail will make sure you get seen then, and your attorney will be there. Okay, and then on your Tucson City Court case, that's for the trespass and littering. I've already appointed the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. You had a warrant for your arrest on this case because you failed to appear for court, looks like earlier this year in January. The bond amount that judge said was $250, so I'll honor that bond. It's going to be $250 cash. If you post that bond, don't go to the business of wherever this trespass happened. Your next court date for the Tucson City Court will be March 28 at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen, but you're going to have an attorney. Right. If you post the bond, sir, you have to make sure you show up or warrant can issue. You understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You're excused for today, sir. Thank you.
I have no rights, nobody is to my side authority, nobody. Nobody.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Carla Gutierrez. Carla.
I hear you. I hear you, thank you.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I hear you, Mr. Gutierrez. Calm down, okay?
You hit me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you. Calm down, ma'am. All right. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I am seeing you today on a charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. I have to talk to you first. I need to talk to you first. You can ask me questions later, okay? I need to talk to you first. Okay. I'm seeing you today on a charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, which is a misdemeanor out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In this case, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. So you're going to have an attorney in this case, ma'am. I do see that you have an immigration hold, so you're going to be held in custody because of that. All right. I have no control over that. Hold on. I need to tell you all these things first. I will give you a chance to speak at the end. All right. Listen to me first. Okay. So did you hear all that you have that immigration hold?
He hit me. He attacked me. He's my son.
We're not here to talk about what happened. This is
nothing, ma'am.
We are on open court. We're in open court. You can challenge that later. All right. I'm only in these conditions. Okay. So you're muted, so I cannot hear what you're saying. All right. I need to tell you these things. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. Are you listening to me? You're muted. I don't know who muted it, but.
Well, I can't hear you either, bitch, because you talk too much. You don't let me talk.
All right, well, I'm the judge. I need to tell you these things, okay? It's required. It is required. I will give you a chance, ma'am. I will give you a chance to speak again. Okay. I'm going to impose a bond of $100 because you're going to be held in custody for your immigration hold, all right? I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs, no alcohol. If you post the bond, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. No contact with Jorge Gutierrez at this time. Don't go into his residence. Next one, March 28th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Maldonado. You're still in custody. The jail will make sure you get seen by video. If you post that bond and the ICE hold lifts, it's up to you to make sure you show up to. $100. There's also the time set for your arraignment. You're presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You're ordered to appear for the March 28th court date and any future court dates. If you fail to appear, warrant can issue. Trial can go against you. If you're convicted of a trial in your absence and unable to be sentenced within 90 days because you're on warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all that, Ms. Gutierrez? Just like you're seeing me by video, you'll be seen by video if you're still in custody by March 28th. If you post the bond and the ICE hold list, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I was the victim, not him. I understand that. I understand that, but this is not the place to question that. This is not the place to talk about. Well, you're going to have an attorney, ma'am. You can talk to your attorney about that. Okay? You can talk to your attorney about that. I mean, you can kill me and everything. No. All right. You have an attorney. You're going to get an attorney, and you can talk to your attorney about what actually happened and that you were victimized. You can talk to your attorney. Look, my son, he took my cell from my phone.
Your Honor, is she done?
Yes. How long am I going to be today? I need to know. Next court date is March 28th. Next week, ma'am.
Is that how you say it? Yeah. Yeah, you can see what taking your piss.
Morning, can I get your full name, please? Sorry, one more time, your full name?
80. Oh man, what is your full name?
The full name?
No, your full first and last name.
Here's the phone number. That's what
not your phone number, your first and your last name.
My name?
Yes.
Abuk. The first name Abuk, the last name is Tom.
Okay. Abuk Tom?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some misdemeanor charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. So ma'am, in this case, the alleged victim is, I believe, your husband, Deng Dal. He's okay with you coming back home. He's okay with having contact with you. So he's inviting you to come back home. So you can go back home if you'd like. I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So you have to get this taken care of, but I'm releasing you today. Conditions include do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no fighting at home, no drugs, no alcohol. Your next court date, ma'am, is going to be April 15th at 1:30 p.m. You'll get paperwork on this when you get released from jail. April 15th, 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court in front of Judge Millian. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue, and you might get stuck in jail again. So make sure you show up to court, all right? And a trial can go without you if you're on warrant status. If you're convicted at a trial within 90 days and not able to be sentenced, if you're convicted at a trial in your absence and unable to be sentenced within 90 days because you're on warrant status, you may lose your right to direct appeal. It's in your best interest, show up to court, get this taken care of. Do you understand all that? Do you understand all that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, your next court date is April 15th at 1:30. You'll get paperwork on it. Also, this is the time set for your arraignment. You're presumed innocent, so I will enter not guilty pleas for you. All right, you're excused for today, ma'am. Thank you.
You're good. Now, you can go back out there, sit with the females again, okay?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Malik Christopher Brandon.
Thank you. Mr. Brandon, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burgling the 3rd degree, which are all felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. Mr. Amados Tejas, I believe, from the Attorney General's office, or Tejas Amado is present from the Attorney General's office. Looks like state's recommending 2,500. State, would you like to add anything further?
Your Honor, can I ask which, I missed the name, I apologize. Is this Mr. Brandon?
Yes, Malik Brandon, yes.
Your Honor, we'll rest on this written recommendation.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue here that Mr. Brandon is very young. He is only 18 years old. He has no priors. He has no previous court interaction at all. He is currently employed as well. I understand that the nature of these charges sound drastic, but there were only, 6 cars. There was a bunch of very young people doing something stupid. And he has been living here, his entire life. I don't think that there is a risk to the community here. And I certainly don't think that there is any risk that Mr. Brandon would flee at any time. He could also stay with his grandmother, who if I'm correct, would be able to assume third-party custody of him at this time. Just because of all of those factors, we would ask for him to be released to pretrial services. In the alternative, if the court thinks a bond is appropriate, we would ask for a nominal $1,000 to $2,000 bond.
All right, thank you, counsel. I do think the bond is appropriate. 2,500 cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Sir, if you post that bond, no drugs, no alcohol, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact whatsoever with any of the named victims of any of the vehicles involved or the burglaries involved. Do not go to the incident location, that Airbnb. No contact with the co-defendants during pendency of the case. That includes Brianna Medina, Edson Bojorquez Fimbres, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, and Tristan Russell Gabriel Scott. So your next court date is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Brandon? All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Say.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Caleb Felipe Medina.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs for sale and possession of a weapon during a felony drug offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's recommendation, written recommendation is $5,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Your Honor, he was caught with dealer quantity of substances, and we're looking at a person who's also caught with a firearm that he didn't declare. And based on that, and given his age, Your Honor, we believe $5,000 is appropriate.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Becker, if you could confirm whether Mr. Medina is a student.
Yes, Your Honor. Give me 1 second. Yes, Your Honor. He is currently a student at Centennial Peak High School. He is on track to graduate, what was it, this year? This year, yeah. In May, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, so he would be graduating in May. And I'd argue that this, holding him on bond without pretrial services would significantly impact his ability to get a GED or some 18s.
Anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Becker?
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies, Your Honor. I'd also like to highlight that the NCA and the FTA are very low here, the 2 and 1 respectively. He has no priors, no previous court interaction. His mother confirmed that he does have an address. He has a place that he can stay if he's released. And also, Your Honor, I understand that the nature of the offense does sound drastic. However, it's for a marijuana charge, which, it is under a gray zone here. And I would argue that this is not some substantial, fentanyl or methamphetamine drug trafficking or anything like that. I would argue that the stakes are much lower here. He's a full-time Tucson resident. And I don't think that there's any fear of him absconding from the court at this time. So we would ask that he just be fully, and also due to his age, we ask that he be released to pretrial services or a nominal fine to his gift.
Your Honor, the state would retort that this is not just marijuana, it's THC vapes, dealer quantities, and these THC vapes, the provenance of what is in these things is not known. He's not even out of high school, and he's already toting around a firearm while selling drugs illegally.
All right, thank you both, counsel. All right, Mr. Medina, I am going to release you to pretrial services. You're going to stay with your mom's house, okay, at the Nadito place. Stay with your mom, stay in school, go to all your classes. Those are going to be conditions of your release, all right? No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. I don't know if you have any more at home, but you need to give them over to law enforcement if you have any more at home. Monitoring your treatment as directed by pretrial. If they tell you to test, you test, okay? Okay. Yes. To appear for all future court dates as well. If you fail to appear, warrant can issue. This gets serious because you're in felony land, right? You're in adult court. Okay, your next court date is going to be April 8th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear, a court warrant can issue for your arrest, and you don't want that. You understand all those consequences, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Medina. You're excused for today.
You're mute, Judge.
Yes, I did that intentionally. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Edson Guillermo Ortiz Fimbres.
Thank you, Mr. Borges Fimbres. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges of conducting a chop shop theft of means of transportation, and burglary in the third degree. These are all felony matters. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing Nicholas Brereton to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I've read the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, the Attorney General's written recommendation appears to be $2,500. Ms. Tejas Amado, anything further you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor, we'll submit on the written recommendation.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue once again here that Mr. Yorquez Fimbres is very young. He is once again only 18 years old. He has no priors, no court contact. He can, will likely, if released, live with his uncle Edgo, who is willing to provide transport and assume third-party custody. His MCA and FDA scores are also incredibly low here. We would recommend pretrial services at this time. However, if the court thinks amount is appropriate, we would ask for a nominal $1,000 secured bond.
Thank you. Do you think a bond is appropriate due to the fact of this case? Mr. Porquez Fimbres, I'm going to issue a bond of $2,500, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. If you conditions include don't drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the named victims in this case of the vehicle owner, the burglary victim. Don't go back to the Airbnb, the incident location. No contact with your co-defendants while this case is going on. That includes Brianna Medina, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, and Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on, all right? Okay, your next court date's going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m., which is a preliminary hearing date. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with Mr. Brereton. He'll keep you apprised of future court dates. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today, Mr. Porquez Fimbres.
She said all co-defendants to be keep separate from each other. Okay. I'm Brandon.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Walter Cochran.
Do you have a middle name, Len?
Yes, Lynn. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a new felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug, which is a felony matter, and also a misdemeanor for failure to appear, domestic violence, criminal trespass, and interference with judicial proceedings, which are misdemeanors out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On the felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The state is indicating this is a steps eligible case. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Poston. And Mr. Becker, if you could confirm with Mr. Cochran, if he has housing, the pretrial services has a general delivery.
All right, give me 1 second, Your Honor. He has confirmed that he has an apartment. He can stay at here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Becker, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we're in agreement here with the state that pretrial services is appropriate.
All right, so Mr. Cochran, the state has a pre-indictment diversion program called STEPS. It's for substance abuse treatment and counseling. Would you be interested in potentially participating in that? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Becker, waive time to push out the preliminary hearing date?
We do, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Mr. Cochran, I'm going to release you to the third-party custody pretrial services. All right. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Don't go to the incident location. Your next court date is March 26th. That's for the STEPS hearing at Pima County Superior Court. That's next Wednesday, actually. So it's a week from today, 9 a.m. on the third floor. So you'll find out if you are approved for this diversion program at that point. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you. So make sure you show up. 26 at 9 a.m. And the preliminary hearing date is going to be pushed back to May 5th at 1:30 so that you could participate in this program if you're approved. All right. In terms of your misdemeanor case out of Pima County Justice Court, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for that case. Your next court date for that will be April 9th at 9 a.m. You'll get paperwork on all this before you're released from custody. No drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no firearms, no contact with the named victim in that case. Don't try to go find the victim at their residence or their workplace. Again, if you fail to appear for court warrant can issue, just make sure you take these, get these taken care of. Understand all that, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you, Mr. Cochran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can go back after. Hold up.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Alfredo Cora here.
Good morning, Mr. Cota. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a bench warrant out of Maricopa County for possession of dangerous drugs. Looks like you had a failure to appear at a pretrial conference on February 11th of this year. And then there was a motion to quash filed. You had a scheduled status conference 2 days ago. You have a pretrial conference April 10th and scheduled trial April 17th.
Right. Going up there to Phoenix, it's hard to get a ride up there.
Have you talked to your attorney about trying to get like a telephonic appearance or video appearance?
Yes, I did, man. She didn't even know that I lived in Tucson.
Okay.
She did not know that.
Do you know if the judges up there let you appear telephonically or by video?
I'm not too sure, man, but I don't know. I asked her that. That was day before yesterday. She said she didn't see what she could do. And I haven't spoken to her since because I'm in here now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would suggest reaching out again. Okay. I am going to release you today, sir, because the bond amount is only $50. You're in contact with your attorney. It's just you can't make it up there. So physically, at least. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. There is no future court date other than what we have right now, which is April 10th. You have a pre-trial on April 10th and then a trial date April 17th. But you want to get this warrant quashed, okay? So
yes, bro. She was trying to do that for me too, man.
Okay. So call your attorney when you get out. I'm going to release you today, and then have her call the court and see if you can appear via phone or via video or something like that since you live down here.
Sure will.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're excused for today, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mark, lady, come. Huh? What's your last name? Lady, come. Okay. Oh, this is one. Take a seat. Wait, hold on. Ma'am, the one that's up next, Falconer, he is not reading it. Would you mind moving on to the next one?
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Oscar Ariel Leyva Campa, good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Leyva Campa. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for warrant out of Maricopa County. The charges look like sale of the transportation of marijuana, possession of marijuana for sale, possession of narcotic drugs, misconduct involving weapons, possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have some local charges out of Tucson City Court for criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and drug paraphernalia. We'll talk about your Maricopa County case first, and then we'll talk about the Tucson City Court case. The Maricopa cases alleged to have occurred in 2018.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me say my things. Let me say my things, and then you can speak later if you have any questions or anything, additional information. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. All right, so I gotta set some release conditions for you, sir. On the Maricopa County case, it looks like you were released on bond back in September of 2021, and this case has been in a warrant since then. Did you know that you had a warrant on the Maricopa case?
I didn't know that. I had contact before this and they never let me know that I was in. That's why yesterday struck me. They got me in on this. Okay. I've been in the same residence. I've been hidden anywhere. I live in the same place for the whole time. Never moved. Never same number. Never.
Yeah, it looks like the arraignment was back in 2018, released to pretrial. You had a sentencing. You failed to appear at the sentencing in 2019.
It's been a weird case because the case got dropped and then it got reopened a year later, and it's been like that the whole time. Like it's I've been in contact with my attorney, and my attorney's been the one telling me what to do and what not to do. I just haven't talked to him in a couple of months, to be honest.
A couple of months or a couple of years?
No, months. My attorney I've talked to, Corey Scott. I was just hoping I could get released to maybe like a rehab or something. I want to go take care of my addiction and go.
Well, we're here to talk about that, at least for this case, because it's out of Maricopa. Okay, I only have certain things I can do out of the case because it's out of Maricopa, and looks like it was a sentencing that you failed to appear for a couple of years ago. Okay. I'm going to pose a bond in this case, sir, because you got to get that sentencing taken care of. Okay, so I'm going to pose a bond of $5,000, cash or secured. The jurisdiction, so Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has 3 days to take you back to Maricopa, basically, to get that case taken care of. If they don't, then you're going to be released if they don't take you back within 72 hours. All right, so I'm going to set this.
If I get the bond paid before that, then
if you get the bond paid before that, you get released. You need to call Maricopa County to get that warrant quashed and get the case taken care of. Otherwise, the warrant's just going to be out there. Okay, I'm going to reset this to next Wednesday, March 26th at 9 a.m. to see where we're at, see if Maricopa County picked you up or not. Okay. Oh, it's for misdemeanors? Oh, sorry. So I will.
I don't. So that's something for yes.
All right, I'm being told that the 72-hour thing is for misdemeanor, so they might need a little more time to arrange transport. So I'm going to reset it to April 2nd for review hearing at 9 a.m. They have 2 weeks to see, to pick you up. Okay. All right. For the Tucson City Court case, sir, since I'm holding you on this other stuff, I am going to pose a bond of, actually, no.
I don't know where that bond. There's no way we can lower that Maricopa bond number?
Okay. So on your city court case, sir, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear, but because you have a bond on the Maricopa thing, I'm going to appoint counsel for you. So you're going to have Tucson City Public Defender's Office.
Is there any way to lower the bond for the Maricopa case so I can pay it?
No, mine has been made up for that. So it's going to be 5,000. The case has been going on for like over 5 years now. You've been on warrant status. So you got to get that taken care of and get the sentencing taken care of. All right. The next court date for the Tucson City Court will be May 16 at 9 a.m. Hopefully the Maricopa case is all resolved by then. You're going to hopefully be out of custody and get that resolved. The only conditions on the Tucson City Court case, again, your ROR on that one, you will have an attorney for that one, is don't go to the incident location and no drugs, no alcohol.
Okay.
All right, understand all that?
Yeah.
All right, we're excused for today. Thank you.
Okay, we can take you here. Hi.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
I'm sorry?
Can I get your full name, please?
Mark Falconer.
Thank you, Mr. Falconer. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of aggravated driving under the influence. Also seeing you on a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for a misdemeanor driving under the influence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For your felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, and the state's written recommendation is $7,500 in bonds. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Your Honor, 5 out of 6 already on release and FTA for misdemeanor DUI. And post Miranda, he admitted drinking a quart of vodka. He's a danger to the community, has no problem drinking and driving. And this one, he was so drunk that he was damn near unconscious.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue, Mr. Falconer has his last, besides the city court DUI, his last interactions with the court were in 1993 in Missouri. I understand the nature of the these offenses. However, I'd argue that Mr. Falconer is homeless. He's a man of little means. And if we impose a $7,500 bond, that's the same as posting no bond. There's no way he's going to ever be able to pay. And the purpose of bond here is to ensure that somebody shows up to all their future court hearings. So in the alternative, we're going to ask for a much lower bond here, one that's feasible, but that is still a substantial amount that he would be, willing to not lose it by absconding. So in the alternative, Your Honor, we would ask for a $250 nominal secured bond.
All right, thank you. The court does have concerns that Mr. Falconer was pending a DUI when arrested for a new DUI. On the felony matter, I'm going to pose a bond of $4,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment is directed by pretrial, do not drive without a valid driver's license. Mr. Falconer, your next court date for the felony matter is March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with your attorney. If you post bond or are released by then, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. A failure to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest, as you well know, for the misdemeanor case. So now going on to the misdemeanor case, sir, the original the Justice Court judge that issued the warrant included amount of $24.99 for the bond amount. So I will honor that bond amount of $24.99, cash or secured. Same terms of do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol. I will appoint counsel for you on your Justice Court case. It's going to be Douglas Taylor. Your next court date is actually tomorrow, March 20th at 1 p.m. for the misdemeanor. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest if you post those bonds or are released before then. Understand all that, sir? You do not understand?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Faulconer. All right, you're excused for today, sir.
Rubina Anthony.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Anthony Miguel Medina.
You, Mr. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges, post indictment out of Pima County Superior Court and CR 2025-0540 for aggravated DUI and possession of narcotic drugs. Post indictment CR 2024-4010 for aggravated DUI. These are both felonies. And then you have a new arrest for felonies, possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. And you also have a Tucson City Court matter, misdemeanor failure to appear for domestic violence assault. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office for your felony matters. Also appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office for your Tucson City Court matters. Additions for you, sir. We'll start with the felonies. I reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, and the state's recommendations. Looks like the state is recommending $7,500 concurrent on the post-indictment matters, DUIs, and then on the new arrest, recommending $5,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
State submits on the record.
Right, thank you. And Mr. Poston, just to clarify for me, for the steps eligibility, even though someone is pending other felony matters that are not steps eligible, a person can be screened?
Considering his background history, no.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Becker.
So, Your Honor, I think recently with these DUIs, we've been running into a problem where a defendant is arrested and they dismiss all of the charges, and then at a much later time, they refile those charges. And that leads to, if their mailing address is different, or they moved, or they have a different phone number, or a variety of cases, it becomes a surprise for them that the case gets refiled and that they get picked up on a warrant without their knowledge. And I think that's what happened to Mr. Medina here. He got an arrest on, August of 2023, and that wasn't refiled until February of 2025. He has another arrest in 2024 that wasn't refiled until 6 months later, and he's been picked up on this now. And these are all, they're curveballs, for lack of a better term. They're surprises. I don't think Mr. Medina here had any intent to abscond or run away. It's just the fact that a year later, his case is getting refiled. And somebody's missing the ball somehow. I don't think that should be held against Mr. Medina. I understand that the state has up to 7 years to refile these cases. But the fact of the matter is waiting for a year for a criminal charge, it is going to cause some crosses in the wiring. It's going to cause some problems. But I don't think, once again, that should be held against Mr. Medina here. He has a residence here. His mom is willing to absorb third-party custody of him. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He's currently employed as a full-time contractor. And we would argue that, a release of pretrial services is sufficient. And in the alternative, a much lower bond of $1,000.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. And I'm familiar with what you're telling me here because I do handle arraignments as well. Sorry, Mr. Poston, were you going to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. How many times is the person going to be allowed to drive drunk without there being some sort of bond in place? And he works as a laborer, so presumably he has to get from point A to point B every morning to get to the job site. And is he going to be taking the bus? Is he going to somehow get there with mom? Because the fact is, it's a fairly toothless situation. If he's got this many DUIs, he's going to go out and presumably drive because we're not a very transit-friendly city. This person represents a risk. He has repeatedly gotten drunk and behind the wheel.
right, thank you, Mr. Poston. I do see from the Superior Court records that the summons were sent to 4750 South Campbell Avenue, apartment 505, which is also the address on the booking sheet of the pretrial services report. Mr. Becker, if you can confirm with Mr. Medina, is that his address on Campbell?
I'm gonna go back over there to my mom's on that.
So, Your Honor, he does not currently reside at that address. He is residing with his grandmother, who is on Missouri Avenue.
And I wasn't told of any paperwork or anything sent to the previous residence where I was at.
Okay. Mr. Medina, whose address is on Campbell? Who lives there?
That's going to be my mother's address where I want to go back to. It will stay there.
You're saying your mom never told you that you got mail?
She never told me anything about it. I've never received anything. I usually pick up mail from there, but I've never gotten any paperwork from the courts there. So that's I was kind of confused with the whole warrants that they said that I had when I was just unaware of it. Or else I would have went to the courts like I should have.
All right. All right, on your new matter, sir, for the new arrest, I'm going to impose a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. That's the narcotic, drugs, and paraphernalia. If you post that bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment is directed by pretrial. The in-custody preliminary hearing date is March 31st at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with the attorney and they'll let you know if that date changes. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Are there already court dates for these other?
Yeah.
Let's talk. Well, we're going to talk about the DUIs now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to impose a bond concurrent on the two CR numbers that are post-indictment, 2,500, concurrent with each other. Cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. Again, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment. As date will be at the Pima County Superior Courthouse on March 26th at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment. If you post the bond, make sure you show up for the arraignment. They always reset these at least a couple times when a summons gets sent out. So there's no note in the file to indicate there was returned mail or anything like that. Okay. It's up to you to make sure you check your mail. Even if your mom is not telling you, it's up to you to make sure you check your mail at that address, if that's the address you have with the court.
Your Honor, for clarification, is the $1,000 bond also concurrent with the 2,500?
I cannot do that because of the different status. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You understand all that, Mr. Medina?
Yes.
All right. On your two Sun City court cases, these are for the failures to appear for assault DV and disorderly conduct DV. Looks like the last court date you failed to appear was July of 2024. Appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. Impose a $250 bond on that case, cash or secured. No contact with the alleged victim in that case. Don't try to find them. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Next court date for Tucson City is March 28th at 1:45 p.m. If you post all your bonds, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you're in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. All right, you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, you gotta get these taken care of. Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Yeah.
Morning, can I get your name, please?
Juliana Sabina Medina.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burglary in the 3rd degree. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, Ms. Medina. I've reviewed the pretrial service report, the interim complaint. The Attorney General states written recommendation. It looks like release to pretrial. Ms. Reyes Amado, anything further to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Nothing from us, Your Honor. She's being released from trial services.
All right, thank you. I agree that this is appropriate. Ms. Medina, I'm going to release you today from jail to pretrial services. Conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment directed by pretrial. If they tell you to test, go test. No contact with any of the alleged victims, the owner of the vehicles or the burglary. Do not go back to that Airbnb. Don't go back to that incident location where you were arrested. No contact with your co-defendants during the pendency of the case. That includes Edison Bojorquez Fimbres, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on. It's in your best interest not to talk to them. All right, your next court date, ma'am, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. Fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue. All right, you understand all that, ma'am? Okay, thank you, Ms. Medina. You're excused for today.
So. Olivas.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Olivas.
Rivas, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on one count of transportation for narcotics for sale, which is a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to set some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is $2,500. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to argue here that Mr. Olivas is very young, but his NCA is 2, his failure to appear is 1, very low scores on both ends. He has no priors or, previous interactions with this court. I understand the nature of the offense. However, I once again want to reiterate that these are marijuana and THC pens, and the nature of them is much less detrimental than other harder, more dangerous drugs. In that case, we would ask that he be released from jail services. If not, we ask that a nominal bond of $1,000.
And sir, you live with your mother in Yavapai Street?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to release you to the third-party custody pretrial services. Conditions include that you stay with your mother. No drugs, no alcohol whatsoever, no firearms, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. If they tell you to go test, you have to go test. All right. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. or excuse me, April 8th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, and you want to get this taken care of. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
I apologize, Your Honor. I think I got myself confused here. The next court date is on April 8th, or is it on March 25th? Okay, thank you.
Ortiz. Ortiz.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Brandon Martin Ortiz Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez. This is a time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burgling the third degree, which are all felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing Chris Kimenow to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The Attorney General's written recommendation appears to be $25,000. Ms. Teasamado, do you want to be heard further?
Your Honor, I know that this is substantially more than I have asked for on the defendants. The reason is that Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez was initially arrested back in October for similar charges. There were 11 cars seized at his home address. Those were stolen, contained stolen parts, or were otherwise associated with the street crew who kind of organizes the street takeovers, the street racing, and the using of those stolen parts and vehicles. So given that his role is across kind of the whole criminal activity, we are asking for a substantially higher bond of $25,000 plus release to pretrial services if the bond is posted, as well as the other conditions that you have been imposing.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue that all of these are just merely allegations. The state has not indicted him on any of these other alleged chop shop matters. So I would ask that the court take that into consideration. I'd also argue that he's been living here in Tucson his entire life. He has a residence. He stays with his mom. Should be willing to assume some third-party custody. He has no prior felony convictions. I understand that the state's asking for a substantially larger bond here, but $25,000 is an incredibly large bond for somebody who has no prior history here. We would ask that he do be released to pretrial services. And in the alternative, we ask that he be held on the same bond as the other co-defendants in this matter. I think it was $2,500 secure.
All right, thank you. I did note the interim complaint included some additional information about the other investigation. I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter. I'll issue a bond of $5,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez, if you post that bond or are released, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Do not go back to the incident location, that Airbnb, do not go back there. No contact with any of the co-defendants during pendency of this case. Brianna Medina, Edison Bojorquez Fimbres, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on. Your next court date, Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with Mr. Kimino. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Vamos, olvídese de las pelotas.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Domingo Ramos Jr. CSD.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramos. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of possession of narcotic drugs for sale. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is $10,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Excuse me, other than he has a history of prison for drug sales and forgery. So the risk is, I think, greater than the 3-3 would say otherwise.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue here that Mr. Ramos's criminal history has stayed in his past. His last conviction was in 2013, 12 years ago. Additionally, Your Honor, looking at the interim complaint and facts of this case, I do question the validity of that search, mainly just because they were there for a death call, and then somehow they gained access to his car. I do find that concerning on some level, but I'm not gonna delve any deeper than that. I still will take that into consideration. He has a residence that he can stay at as well. This is his NCA and FDA are still 3. They're still very low. We argue that he be released to pretrial services today. I don't think he's a flight risk. He has, the ability to stay in Tucson and go to court. And the alternative, if court thinks that bond is appropriate, we ask for a null.
All right, thank you. I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter. I'm going to order a bond of $10,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions include, Mr. Ramos, no drugs, no alcohol if you post that bond or are released, no firearms whatsoever, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with the legal defender. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ramos. You're excused for today.
People?
Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Pamela Rapola.
Middle name K?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, thank you. Ms. Rapola, I'm seeing you today for your initial appearance. There's some felony charges post-indictment out of Superior Court in CR 2023-2129 for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Also seeing you today on some city court matters for failure to appear, criminal trespass. These are all from 2023. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For the felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you today, ma'am. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state's written recommendation is to affirm the original warrant amount that was issued from the prior judge, which is $2,500. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Your Honor, I would like to highlight that, Ms. Rapola here did mention that she was unable to go to a court because of an abusive partner that she had. And I do find that concerning in regards to, if somebody's being actively prevented from showing up to their court hearings. So I would ask that at this time she be released to pretrial services or being held on a much more nominal bond of $500. So that way, she can ensure that she is going to future court hearings. And that's all from us. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, on the felony matter, I'm going to impose a bond of $500, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date, ma'am, for the felony is going to be March 26th. That's next week at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment at the Superior Courthouse. All right, if you fail to appear for court, you know what happens. Another warrant will issue, so make sure you show up next week. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, on your city court matter, I'm also going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office as you're being held. It looks like the failure to appear was back in July of 2023 after you're released in June of 2023. So this is an older case. All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $250 cash in that matter. If you do post it, conditions include not possess any alcohol or drugs, no contact with the named victims of the trespass, don't go back to the incident location. Your next court date for Tucson City Court is going to be March 28 at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. If you're out of custody, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, these are old cases, so you want to make sure you get them taken care of. Your excuse for today.
Your Honor, was the $500 a secured or a cash? Sorry.
Cash or secured for the felony case.
Thank you. Here he is.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Joel Anthony Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some fugitive warrant matters out of New Mexico. The felony charges are from 2022 and 2024. The 2022 one is for armed robbery and larceny. The 2024 one is for aggravated battery against a household member, larceny, and aggravated battery, which is a misdemeanor. And then we have some new charges out of Pima County Superior Court for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for an assault misdemeanor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney for the felony charges and the fugitive matter. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. Also going to appoint Doug Taylor to represent you in the Pima County Justice Court case. All right, I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir, all separately from the new charge, felony, the fugitive, and the Justice Court case. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The state's written recommendation looks like for the new arrest is $5,000 and for the fugitive is $15,000. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
So, Your Honor, he's already being held on these New Mexico court cases in the bond. My understanding is at least $2,500. plus $10,000. I mean, that's a substantial bond amount anyways. So we would ask that at least for the Pima County and Justice Court matters, that in the alternative, a nominal bond be given, because he's already going to be held on those New Mexico matters anyways, and they're already over $10,000 in bond.
Mr. Becker, where are you seeing the amounts for the fugitive matters? Because I am going to impose bonds on those today as well for the fugitive case.
Oh, you know what, Your Honor? I am incredibly sorry. I am reading the Pima County amounts. That's my apologies. So I unfortunately have to backtrack on everything that I said on those matters. However, I would argue that he's still likely going to be held anyways on those New Mexico matters. I imagine that, as soon as these go, he'll be extradited to New Mexico anyways to settle his matters over there. So we would ask, regardless, that a nominal bond be posted.
Thank you. So on the new felony matter for the narcotic drugs and paraphernalia, imposing a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed. Next court date for that is up at 1:30. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with the legal defender. All right, for the fugitive matter, looks like Mr. Rodriguez, you've been in Pima County a couple times on these matters and extradited, but then somehow missed court again, and so warrants were issued again. So I do think a high bond is appropriate in the fugitive matter. The state was recommending $15,000, so I agree that $15,000 is appropriate. Okay, that's going to be cash or secured. Again, released to pretrial if posted. Same conditions apply. The next court date for that will be March 24th at 2:30 p.m. at the Pima County Superior Court for fugitive matter to review that fugitive warrant. All right, on your justice court case, sir, an order bond of
Wake up. Everyone wake up. All right. Wake up, put it. All right.
Let somebody stand up there. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. I think you gotta grab both from the side. You gotta sit in it first. Oh, maybe not. I don't. Oh, there you go. Okay, good morning. Do I have a court interpreter on the line?
Good morning, Your Honor. My Lopez, court interpreter.
Good morning, Madam Interpreter. Okay, you ready to get started?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for Wednesday, March 19th.
Buenos días a todos. Esta es la lista de causas de comparecencia inicial. Yo soy la comisionada Hughes. Estamos aquí a las 11 de la mañana, el día 19 de marzo del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of the month will apply to the hearings on this calendar.
Las huellas dactilares, así como los análisis de ADN tomados el primero del mes, aplican para todas las audiencias del día de hoy.
Okay, as we get started in here this morning, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time.
Conforme empezamos esta mañana, los voy a pasar a la audiencia de uno por uno.
I'll ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I'll ask the next two people I intend to call to have a seat in the two chairs right inside this door.
Cuando llame su nombre van a pasar frente a mí al podio que tengo enfrente y las dos siguientes personas van a tomar asiento afuera de la puerta que está aquí.
So that's how we'll cycle through this calendar. You'll go from the second chair to the first chair into the courtroom, and I promise you, if you'll listen for your name and move that way, it will make this calendar go much quicker.
Voy a llamar a la persona que voy a tener al frente. Los otros dos van a estar esperando. Conforme pase al otro, el de la segunda silla se pasa a la primera silla. Si escuchan y prestan atención para su nombre, todo se hará mucho más rápido.
Once you work your way into the courtroom and you're behind the podium, I will start by asking you to state your full name and date of birth. Then I will explain to you why you're here this morning.
Cuando pasen frente a mí al estado, les voy a pedir su nombre, su fecha de nacimiento y luego les voy a explicar por qué están frente a mí hoy.
After I tell you why you're here, I will tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer to represent you. Whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, you have the right to hire a private lawyer at your own expense if you wish to.
Luego les voy a explicar si las acusaciones que tienen pendientes amerita que se les nombre un abogado de oficio. Si no califican para el abogado de oficio, siempre tienen derecho a contratar a un abogado privado por su cuenta.
After we talk about lawyers, I will give you the next court hearing dates and times you'll be required to attend after this court hearing.
Después de leerles todas las acusaciones, les voy a decir cuándo van a tener su siguiente audiencia, dónde va a ser y a qué horas tienen que comparecer a todas sus audiencias.
The last thing we'll do while you're in the courtroom is talk about whether you are legally eligible for release from custody. If you are, we'll go over on what terms and conditions you can be released.
Después de esto vamos a ver sus medidas cautelares. Si tienen derecho por ley a quedar en libertad, vamos a repasar todas las condiciones de su libertad.
All the information that I give you while you're in the courtroom will be contained in a written document called a release order that you will get a copy of when you're done in here and you step back into the room you're in right now.
Toda la información que yo les voy a dar durante la audiencia se va a encontrar anotada en un documento que es una orden que explica todo lo que tienen que hacer y después van a pasar y se van a llevar esa orden a donde están en este momento.
Last thing before we get started is you all have the right to remain silent.
Y por último, antes de empezar, todos tienen derecho a permanecer en silencio y no declarar.
Whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom for your defense this morning.
Si califican o no para un abogado, independientemente para esta audiencia de hoy, no tendrán abogado.
Anything that you choose to say in the courtroom this morning can be used against you.
Lo que digan hoy en esta audiencia sí se puede utilizar en su contra.
And because you won't have a lawyer in here, I strongly encourage all of you not to make any statements regarding the facts about why you're here.
Y como no hay un abogado que los defienda hoy, les digo a todos firmemente que no declaren nada, que no digan nada sobre los hechos de su caso.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I please have Elizabeth Perez all the way into the courtroom behind the podium? Saul Aguilar, if you would have a seat in the first chair right inside this door. Nicholas Javins, if you could take a seat in the second chair.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the names went a little too fast for me, but if you have the right person.
Yes, that's okay. Everybody is where they're supposed to be, so that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Necesito intérprete.
Sí, aquí estoy. ¿Puede dar su nombre, por favor, y fecha de nacimiento?
Elizabeth Abigail Soledad Pérez, octubre 7 del 87.
Elizabeth Abigail Soledad Pérez, October 7th, 87.
Thank you very much, Ms. Perez. You are here on 3 different matters.
Muchas gracias, señora Pérez. Está usted aquí por 3 casos diferentes.
The first matter you're here on is a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug and misdemeanor obstruction case.
El primer caso por el que está aquí es por una orden de arresto que tenía usted pendiente porque en su caso tenía una consulta de actualización a la cual no se presentó. Era por conducir bajo los efectos y por tenencia de droga.
In that case, you already have a lawyer assigned to defend you. That lawyer will continue to represent you.
En ese caso, ya tiene designado un abogado. Ese abogado la va a seguir representando.
Your next court hearings in that existing case will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
En ese caso, tiene 2 audiencias ya programadas. Una es el 25 de marzo, la otra es el 27. I'm sorry, was that for March, Your Honor? This month?
Yes.
Thank you. El 25 de marzo y el 27 de marzo, la primera es una consulta de actualización, la segunda es una audiencia preliminar y las 2 son a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior de Phoenix.
On the warrant in that existing case, you have a $250 secured appearance bond.
Por la orden de arresto que tenía en ese primer caso, tiene una fianza de $250 para asegurar su comparecencia.
The other 2 matters you're here on are both cases in which direct complaints were filed alleging new allegations against you.
Los otros 2 casos que tiene pendientes son por informes policiales que se levantaron en su contra y se levantaron acusaciones.
The first of those cases alleges 3 counts of aggravated driving under the influence and 1 count of dangerous drug possession, all class 4 felonies.
El primer caso nuevo que tiene 3 acusaciones. Una por conducir bajo los efectos, 2 por conducir bajo los efectos de alcohol o drogas y la otra por tener drogas en su poder.
The second of those direct complaints alleges 1 count of forgery and 1 count of taking the identity of another, also both class 4 felonies.
Todos los delitos nuevos son delitos de categoría 4. En la segunda acusación o el segundo caso tiene 2 acusaciones, una por falsificación y otra por usurpación de identidad ajena.
In both of those cases involving new allegations, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you.
En los 2 casos nuevos que tiene, donde hay acusaciones nuevas, le he nombrado un abogado para que la represente.
Your next court hearings in those 2 cases will be the same as your hearings in the existing case, so a status conference the 25th and then a preliminary hearing the 27th.
Las audiencias que va a tener en los 2 nuevos y en el caso que ya tenía se van a hacer todas juntas. Entonces va a ser igual, la consulta de actualización el 25 de marzo y la audiencia preliminar el 27 de marzo.
On the first direct complaint, the one alleging aggravated driving under the influence allegations, you have a $500 secured appearance bond.
Por el primer caso nuevo, donde las acusaciones son por conducir bajo los efectos con agravante, tiene una fianza de $500.
On the second direct complaint, you are not eligible for release on bond because the alleged felony offenses were committed while you were on felony release in that existing drug case.
El segundo caso nuevo no tiene derecho a fianza. No tiene derecho a fianza porque quebrantó las medidas cautelares del primer caso que tenía pendiente, y es un caso por delito.
So on that case, you will be held in custody without bond, at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing will take place March 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Por lo tanto, como no tiene derecho a fianza en este caso, va a estar detenida hasta que se lleve a cabo una audiencia de vistas, la cual tiene programada el 26 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Because you are not eligible for release at least until after that hearing on the 26th, you should wait until after that hearing before attempting to post your bond on the two cases you are eligible for bond on.
Como no tiene derecho a fianza en el tercer caso, entonces le conviene esperarse hasta después de la audiencia del 26 para ver si puede depositar fianza, porque ahorita no podría salir.
Okay, do you have questions about your release conditions?
¿Tiene preguntas sobre sus medidas cautelares?
Sí, no sé de qué cargos me hablan, no sé quién me los levantó, pero lo único que quería, yo sé que hice mal en mi pasado, lo reconozco y sé que tengo que pagar por ello, pero ahorita yo quisiera ver la posibilidad de que me dejaran salir. No me importa si me tienen que poner el monitor, lo que sea. Tengo unas twins de 2 meses y no tengo nadie más cercano que me los cuide más que mi mamá, pero mi mamá está enferma.
Let her translate.
Yes, I wanted to know, I'm not sure how I have these charges or who filed the charges against me. I know that I've done things wrong in the past and I take responsibility and I'm willing to pay for that. But I wanted to know if there's any possible way that I could get released, even if it is with an ankle monitor, because I have 2-month-old baby twins and my mom has them, but my mom is sick.
Okay, so in terms of the new charges, you'll have to talk to your lawyer about the underlying facts. In those cases, your lawyer can give you that information. But as of right now, there is no way that you can be released because under Arizona law, you are not eligible for release on bond.
En cuanto a las acusaciones nuevas que tiene pendiente, el único que le puede explicar con el que debe de hablar de todo eso es con el abogado que se le ha designado. En cuanto a toda la información y eso, él se la va a explicar. En relación a su libertad, no la puedo dejar en libertad porque por ley en Arizona no se me permite ponerle en libertad ahorita.
So you will be held in custody without bond at least until your hearing on the 26th at 1:30. There is nothing I can do other than hold you without bond.
Entonces va a estar detenida y no puede depositar fianza, o sea, no hay fianza todavía porque no es elegible en el último caso. Por lo tanto, hasta el 26 de marzo a la 1:30 en esa audiencia puede ver si se puede hacer algo o no. En este momento no tengo competencia legal para dejarla salir.
Thank you very much. You can step back to your left and get your paperwork.
Muchas gracias. Puede pasar por sus documentos y retirarse. I have a question.
¿Cuándo voy a ver a mi abogado? Es que mis niñas me preocupan mucho. Mi mamá no puede cuidarlas porque está muy enferma y necesito...
Okay. Yes, I just have a question. When am I going to see my attorney? Because my girls are very little and my mom is very sick. She can't really watch them well.
Your lawyer will be present at your first hearing on the 25th. You also have the phone number to the public defender's office in your release paperwork. You can use that number to try to call the public defender's office as soon as you get back into the jail facility if you want to.
Usted va a ver a su abogado en su siguiente audiencia que está para el 25. El teléfono de la oficina de oficio de los abogados está en los documentos que le van a dar. Si quiere llamarle, puede tratar de hablar ese número para ver si se puede comunicar con él antes.
Thank you very much.
Gracias. Thank you.
Saul Aguilar, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Candace McCormick, if I could get you to work your way to the second chair.
Saul Aguilar.
Come on in, sir.
Pase.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Saúl Estrada Aguilar,
Febrero 28, 1975.
Saul Estrada Aguilar, February 28th of 75. For the interpreter, Your Honor, can we double check he needs one, please?
Thank you. Yes. Mr. Aguilar, do you require or did you request a Spanish interpreter for purposes of your hearing?
Señor, ¿pidió usted tener intérprete en español para la audiencia de hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, then if I could ask you to please pause and allow the interpreter an opportunity to translate, even if you understand what I say in English.
Entonces le voy a pedir que por favor haga pausas, que permita que el intérprete le traduzca todo primero antes de contestar.
All right, you are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you fail to appear at a not guilty arraignment hearing in an existing felony stalking case.
Está usted detenido el día de hoy porque tiene una orden de arresto por no haberse presentado a su audiencia que estaba programada en un caso donde tiene una acusación de acoso.
You have a lawyer already assigned to you. That lawyer will continue to defend you.
Ya tiene nombrado un abogado que va a continuar representando y defendiéndolo.
Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
Su siguiente audiencia va a ser una audiencia de vistas el 26 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana en el centro de Phoenix.
On that warrant, you have a $5,500 secured appearance bond.
Por esa orden de arresto, tiene una fianza. Puede depositar usted $5,500 de la fianza.
If you post that bond and you're released from custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to your next.
La fianza que tiene es para asegurar su comparecencia. Si la deposita y sale en libertad, tiene que dar fe que se va a presentar a sus siguientes audiencias.
With alleged victims or witnesses of the underlying offense if you are released from custody.
And I'm sorry for the interpreter, Your Honor. The court was cut out at the beginning. Was that just to not have contact with them?
Yes.
Se le está prohibido tener contacto con cualquier persona que se considere víctima o que sea testigo en el caso en su contra.
Do you understand those conditions?
¿Entiende sus medidas cautelares?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aguilar. You can step back and get your paper.
Tengo una pregunta.
Muchas gracias, señor Aguilar. Puede pasar por sus documentos. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Adelante.
Bueno, más bien quiero decir que no asistí a la corte porque fui deportado 3 días después de mi audiencia.
I wanted to say that I wasn't in court because I got deported 3 days after a hearing.
Okay, thank you for that information. You'll want to talk to your lawyer about that. I can't guarantee that if you post this bond, that won't happen again.
Señor, le voy a decir que por favor le diga toda esa información a su abogado. Gracias por comentármelo a mí. Y para que sepa, aunque deposite esta fianza, yo no puedo garantizar que lo pongan en libertad.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Gracias, señor. Pase por sus documentos.
Okay, Ms. Lopez, those were the only 2 I had already marked as requesting an interpreter. Before you disconnect, can you make a quick inquiry of the gallery to make sure we don't miss anyone?
Of course, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguna persona que necesite asistencia en español? Si ocupa ayuda en español, levante la mano, por favor.
Officer, can you take a look and see if there's any hands raised?
¿Alguien más necesita ayuda en español? No?
Okay, I'm told no hands were raised. Thank you very much for your help. You're free to disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, can I please have Nicholas Javins to the podium in the courtroom? Jay Duval, if I could get you to work your way to that second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Nicholas Javins, 4/15/99.
Thank you very much, Mr. Javins. You are here on a probation violation warrant issued by the Pinal County Superior Court. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to represent you in the Pinal County proceedings. If you don't already have one, the Pinal County judge will appoint one for you at your next hearing. Your next hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Pinal County Superior Court. And on that warrant, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody at least until you see the Pinal County judge without bond on the 24th at 8:30. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Javins. You can step back and get your paperwork. Candace McCormick to the podium in the courtroom, please. Ramon Valencia, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Candace McCormick, 6/24/1990.
Thank you, Ms. McCormick. You are here on two different matters. The first is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale, 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale. Those are both Class 2 felonies. 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a $10,000 cash-only bond. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that those new charges violate Term 1 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in that probation case as well. Your next hearing in the probation matter will be a revocation arraignment hearing. It will be March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the probation matter, you are not eligible for release on bond. Because you will not be eligible for release on the probation matter, at least until after you see the probation judge on the 26th, I encourage you to wait until after that hearing before attempting to post the bond on those new allegations. Do you understand that information?
So on March 26th is when I will possibly be eligible, like, for own recognizance and stuff like that?
Well, on the 26th at your probation hearing, the probation judge might reinstate your probation and release you in the probation case. You would then still have that bond on the new charges, but then you could post that bond to be eligible for release. If you posted that bond anytime between now and the 26th, you wouldn't be released.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. McCormick. You can step back and get your paperwork. Jade?
Mrs. Valencia is in a holding tank.
Mr.?
Mrs. Valencia.
I have Ramon Valencia.
Well, it is Valencia, Ramon, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ramon Valencia, sorry, yeah. He's in a holding tank.
Okay. Jay Duvall to the podium in the courtroom, please. Manuel Ceballos, if you would work your way to that first chair. Stefan Scarletto, if you'd work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
J. Duvall, 2/19/71.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duvall. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3, 5, 7, and 15 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you in the probation proceedings. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown, and you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond on that warrant. Secured appearance means that you can use a bonding company to post that if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription once you're released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Duvall. You can step back and get your paperwork. Manuel Ceballos to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jason Murray, if you'd work your way to the second chair. Manuel Ceballos? I don't have a picture, so I can't help you. Stefan Scarletto, if you're ready, I'll take you into the courtroom now. Daniel Gamboa, if you would work your way into the second chair with Mr. Murray. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Stephen Scarletto, 1-804.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scarletto. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They both allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearing in each of them will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those 2 warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $4,000. It is $2,500 on one of the warrants, $1,500 on the second. So $4,000 total, all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scarletto. You can step back and get your paperwork. Jason Murray, do we have Jason Murray? Manuel Ceballos? All right. Daniel Gamboa, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Nathaniel Carter, if you would work your way to the first chair. Christopher Sanchez, if you'd work your way to the second, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Daniel Gamboa, 9/24/81.
Thank you, Mr. Gamboa. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of burglary, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, those are both class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, but I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference March 25th, and then a preliminary hearing the 27th, both of them at 8:30 downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a $1,500 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a failure to appear warrant issued by the University Lakes Justice Court. The underlying allegation in that case is a misdemeanor theft allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions on that misdemeanor warrant, and I've appointed one for you. Your next court hearing in that matter will be an arraignment hearing March 21st. That one will be also at 8:30, but in the University Lakes Justice Court. On the misdemeanor warrant, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. So your total bond for both matters will be $1,600. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged new offenses took place. You also cannot have contact with any witnesses of those offenses, and you can't possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get released unless I bond out?
That's right, yes. Any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gamboa. You can step back and get your paperwork. Officer, any indication where Manuel Ceballos or Jason Murray might be?
Carter.
Are you Jason Murray? Come on in, man. I've been calling you. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Jason Daniel Murray, March 1st, 1990.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. You are here on two different matters. Both of them are bench warrants issued by the probation court when you fail to appear at revocation arraignment hearings. You have a lawyer assigned to you in both of those cases already. That assigned lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a new revocation arraignment hearing March 26th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on those two warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $2,250. If you post that and you are released from custody, in addition to getting to your hearing on the 26th, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, we actually, when I was out, I got a hold of my lawyer when we missed that court date, and they have it already set for the 24th. I already got a new court date, and the state already is releasing me with.
Katrina, can we match the 24th at 8:30? Or no? So it looks like there is a status conference on a motion to quash these warrants filed. So I'm not going to change your release conditions. They were still active warrants when you were picked up on them, so you will still have those bonds, but I'm trying to see if we can match that court date.
Yeah.
I would have to email them. Or I can just leave it at 24th and let them know that you can.
Well, our hearing out of here is going to be the 26th, but he's got to be in court on the 24th, so they won't transport him because that hearing's already set. That's the problem. Yeah, so I want to match that hearing because if I set it for the 26th, and you don't post that bond, MCSO is not going to take you on the 24th.
That's my problem.
But my clerk is telling me that the probation court is very picky about their hearing dates, so we need to get confirmation from it looks like Commissioner Gantz's division before we can reset that hearing. So what I want to do, Mr. Murray, is I know that this is annoying. I want to ask you to have a seat. I want to finish the calendar and see if we can get a hold of them before, because I don't want to keep you in custody and let you pick up new failure to appear warrants while you're sitting in a cell. But I apparently can't change that date without their permission.
Yeah, because I didn't miss the court date. I went to when I posted the bond, I went to my initial court date, and they messed up the court date, so I didn't miss a court date. It was That's why I ended up calling the lawyer. It wasn't notified to me of a new court date. They changed the date, and I was never notified. That's why they did this motion to quash it.
Okay. All right. Well, if you'll take a step back to your left, we'll try and get a hold of them, and then I'll call you up closer to the end. So if the DO's clear, the gallery, stay in here. Don't leave. All right. Thanks. All right. Nathaniel Carter, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Timothy Lewis, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Nathaniel Carter, 3386.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, 1 count of dangerous drug possession. They are both class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new charges will be a status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a probation violation warrant. In that case, a petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to defend you in that probation case. Your next hearing in that matter will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the probation matter, you have a $1,000 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond will be $1,050 for both cases. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Carter. You can step back and get your paperwork. Christopher Sanchez, to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jeremiah Gabriel, if you would work your way to the second chair. Hey, officer, if you're going to clear the gallery when you're out there, can you see if you can find me a Manuel Ceballos? Thank you. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Christopher Ryan Sanchez, 10/17/89.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanchez. You are here on a Pinal County probation violation warrant. I don't know whether the Pinal County Court has given you a lawyer in that case or not. If they have not, but you're entitled to one, the Pinal County judge will appoint one for you at your next hearing. Your next hearing on that will be an arraignment hearing March 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Pinal County Superior Court. And on that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to Pinal County on March 24th, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Timothy Lewis, to the podium in the courtroom, please. Brooke Biziata, if you would work your way to the second chair. What was that?
I believe she's a house call.
Ceballos is a house call, ma'am.
Okay.
Over here, sir.
Can I have your name and date of birth?
Timothy Lewis, September 26, 1990.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown, and you have a $500 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. You can step back and get your paperwork. Jeremiah Gabriel, to the podium in the courtroom, please. Valeska Perez, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Jeremiah Gabriel?
We're going to hold on to Gabriel. Let me figure out what's going on.
Okay. Brooke Biziata, if you would work your way into the courtroom. Arvel Caesar, if you'd work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Brooke Heavenly Bashadi, 11691.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's Bashadia? Oh,
Bashadi.
Thank you. Bashada.
Bashadi.
Bashadi. Okay, I got it. Thanks, Ms. Bashadi. You are here on two different matters. Both of them are probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated term 3. I've appointed a lawyer to defend you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On those two warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $400. It's $300 on one of the warrants, $100 on the second, so $400 total. If you post that and you are released, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Is there a way I can get the release from that? There's like a release thing that I haven't gotten.
Like pretrial?
Yeah.
I can't release you to pretrial services because you're already being supervised by your probation officer.
All right. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bishotti. You can step back.
Jeremiah is in a state of combative.
Okay. It'd be nice to know all these things before court. All right. Can I please have Valeska Perez to the podium in the courtroom? Justin Chaplin, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Valeska Monique Perez, September 3rd, 1993.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing. It will be March 26th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Perez. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Arvil Caesar, if you would please work your way into the courtroom, please. Robert Hahn Jr., if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Arvil Caesar, 6/17/89.
Thank you very much, Mr. Caesar. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They both allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on each of these 2 warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond will be $200. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Caesar. You can step back and get your paperwork. Justin Chaplin, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Vanessa Pina, if you could work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Justin Matthew Chaplin, 6/17/81.
Thank you, Mr. Chaplin. You are here on a grand jury warrant. A state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against you. The indictment in this case contains 1 count. It is dangerous drug possession for transportation or sale, a class 2 felony alleged to have been committed March 7th of 2024. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 26th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $50 cash only bond.
Okay, so I already got 2 indictments. One for the one you're talking about, I'm already going to court for one. So I don't know why I'm getting a 3rd one, because I already got 2 of them.
Excuse me, I don't know either, but your lawyer will. Okay. So talk to your lawyer about why there's 3 different indictments instead of 1 or 2. Okay. I don't know the facts, and I only have this one, so I don't know how they all relate.
Okay.
It is possible it was 3 different grand jury presentations. It's possible that the grand jury just returned indictments at different times. It very well could all be the same underlying facts.
Okay.
Your lawyer will be the one that has all that information.
But it's $50 cash.
$50 cash bond on this one.
Okay.
But I will say, if you can't post, I don't know if you're being held on bond on the bond.
I'm not.
You're not.
I was OR.
Okay. Then if you post that, you'll be eligible.
Okay. Cool. All right.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Chaplin?
That's it.
Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Robert Hahn to the podium in the courtroom, please. Emmy Herring, if you would please work your way to the chair. Robert Hahn. I need Robert Hahn. Right here, behind this gray podium. Yep, right there. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Robert Hahn, 52065.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hahn. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of taking contraband into a correctional facility. It is a Class 2 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference April 3rd, and then you will have a preliminary hearing April 7th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody. You do not need to post a bond.
Okay.
Once you are released, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of those court hearings. You will also be required to make contact with pretrial services. Their information will be in a packet that you get with your release order, so please keep that. Once you're out of custody, get to court, call pretrial services, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hahn. You can step back and gather your paperwork. Vanessa Pena to the podium in the courtroom, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Vanessa Andrea Pena, 51389.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pena. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that alleges new allegations against you. The allegations in this case are one count of theft, a Class 3 felony, one count of fraudulent schemes or practices, that's a Class 5 felony, and 17 counts of obtaining benefits by false statements, all Class 6 felonies. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against these allegations. Your next court hearing, Patricia, is that right? I think it should be status and prelim. 4? Right now it's a prelim on the 24th.
Oh, right, you need the date to get prelim.
Okay. All right. So your next court hearing will be a preliminary hearing March 24th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, March 24th, 8:30 downtown. And I am releasing you on your own recognizance. So you will be released from custody. That means it's going to be your responsibility to get yourself to court on the 24th at 8:30. If you miss that court hearing, that court will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Okay.
Do you understand that information?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
My middle name has been going by Andrew. Would that take effect? Because my middle name is Andrea. Would that?
Are you telling me your legal middle name is Andrea, but you go by Andrew?
No, my legal name is Andrea, and I go by Andrea.
You mean you don't go by Vanessa?
I do go by Vanessa Andrea Pena, but they've been playing Andrew for my middle name.
I don't have Andrew. I have your name as Vanessa Andrea Pena.
Okay.
So we're good on that.
Okay, because like all the paperwork I have seen has been Andrew. Like all my paperwork's been like Vanessa Andrew Pena. Vanessa Andrew Pena.
Well, the warrant doesn't have a middle name for you. It just says Vanessa Pena. So whatever error was happening, I think is probably fixed. But in the event it's not, your lawyer can clean that up at your next court.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I have it correct in my file, which means in the court record it's correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I don't get in trouble for them going by Andrew. And I'm like, no.
No, we have your name right in the court system.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Pena. You can step back and get your paperwork. Emmy Herring, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Sir, what's your name? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call you next if you want to work your way to the chair. Give me just 1 second if you would, please. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth?
Emmy Nicole Herring, 11/2/87.
Thank you, Ms. Herring. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Arrowhead Justice Court. It looks like the underlying allegation in that case is driving on a suspended license. It's a misdemeanor allegation. Because that is a misdemeanor allegation, the nature of that warrant does not entitle you to a court-appointed lawyer. You still have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you in that case if you wish to have one. Your next court hearing in that misdemeanor case will be an arraignment hearing April 8th. It'll be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Arrowhead Justice Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance on that warrant. The second matter that you're here on is allegations of new felony offenses. Those allegations are 2 counts of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession. Again, all felony offenses, but I have not found probable cause to support those allegations. I am going to appoint a lawyer for you because if the county attorney's office does file charges on those allegations, you are entitled to a lawyer to represent you. I'm also going to give you court hearing dates. So your first hearing will be a status conference the 25th, and your second hearing will be a preliminary hearing, a status conference April 3rd. So status conference April 3rd, preliminary hearing April 7th. When you go to court on April 3rd, it is possible the court will tell you nothing has been filed and the hearing on the 7th is canceled. But if charges are filed and you don't go to court on the 3rd, that court will issue a warrant for your arrest. So you're going to be released from custody. You have to go to court on the new felony allegations, even though I'm not finding probable cause here today. And you have to make your way to the Arrowhead Justice Court on that misdemeanor warrant. Okay. So keep your paperwork. All your court dates will be in there. Please make sure you're in court so we don't have to do this again when you get picked up if a new warrant's issued. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Herring. You can step back and get your paperwork. Awesome. Okay, Brian Myers, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Will you unmark this one? Yeah. Okay. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Yeah, Brian Myers, 11/17/84.
Thank you very much, Mr. Myers. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale, 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale. Those are both class 2 felonies. 1 count of narcotic drug possession for use, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on those new allegations will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a $10,000 cash-only bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both probation violation warrants. In both of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in both probation cases. Your next court hearing in the probation matters will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On one of those probation matters, you have a $500 cash bond. On the other, you are not eligible for release on bond. What that means, Mr. Myers, is that on one of those probation matters, you will be held in custody without bail, at least until you see the probation judge on March 26th. If on March 26th, the probation judge determines you are release eligible, you could then look at posting the bonds on the other cases to be eligible for release in all of these matters. But until the 26th, I encourage you not yet to try to post those bonds. Do you understand that information?
I understand, and I was just wondering why I'm getting them allegations on me right now. Like,
you'll have to talk to your lawyer about that. So you mean the new charges?
Yeah.
So all I can tell you is law enforcement, it looks like, was executing a search warrant, and during the course of the execution of that search warrant, law enforcement became aware or had reason to believe that you were engaged in narcotic drug and dangerous drug possession for sale and narcotic drug possession for use. Your lawyer can give you the underlying facts as to how and why that came to be, and you have every right to challenge the information provided by law enforcement and certainly to prepare a defense. But I would encourage you to wait until you go to your next hearing to talk to your lawyer before you make any statements about what may or may not have happened on the new allegation.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Myers?
No, I mean, and then I got like cars and my kids and everything. Like I don't have anyone to get that stuff. I feel like I'm gonna lose everything. And
well, what do you mean? Where is that stuff? Like you need somebody to go gather it for you?
Yeah, but I don't have anyone.
Well, all I can tell you is you'll be in custody at least until the 26th. There's nothing that we can do to change that. So between now and the 26th, I know you're saying you don't have anybody, but you can try to reach out to anybody that you might be able to get a hold of to help you with that. If it's minor children that you're worried about and you don't have anybody to care for them, there is a hotline to the Department of Child Safety, and it is their responsibility to ensure the welfare of children. So if you have minor children that you are now concerned are unprovided for, you can call the Department of Child Safety to ensure for the safety of those children. Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Myers. You can step back and get your paperwork. Do I have Jesus Enriquez Gonzalez in yet? I was told he would be brought in at the end.
We're gonna have to clear, but you still have
Okay, Murray? Is there anybody but Murray that I haven't seen out there?
Jason Murray?
Yeah. Oh, he was moved. He's on the 2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jason Murray is the only one left? All right, Mr. Murray, if you'll come back in, please.
Yeah.
Okay, if you'll say your name and date of birth one more time since I recalled you, but I'm not 100, I'm 80% ready to re-see you. So if you'll say your name and date of birth and then just give me one quick second, then I'll get back to you.
Jason Daniel Murray, March 1st, 1990.
Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Is there any way I can be released since the state isn't?
Give me a second. I'm still looking. I'm still looking at what's going on in your case.
All right.
What's your last name? Myers. That was okay. No, I took all of it. I don't have it. Are you getting released?
Okay, Mr. Murray, are you telling me that you came through this court before, were given a court date, went to that court date, and then that court date was rescheduled without your notice?
Correct.
Okay. It looks like that's at least what your lawyer is telling the probation court. Did you change them already, Katrina?
Yes, March 24th.
Okay, that's not showing in my system. So, I am willing to release you. It sounds like there has been some mistake. It sounds like you have been on top of getting that worked out with your lawyer.
Thank you.
So I'm going to release you. It sounds like, we have been able to match that court hearing. So you should only have to go to court one time on the 24th.
Oh, okay.
But you have two cases. So if for some reason, when you go to court, they only call one, just stay in that courtroom until everybody else is clear. Make sure both of your cases are heard before you go
That seems
anywhere.
to be the issue.
Yeah, well, it looks like maybe you were in a different court when they called it the first time, so I don't really know what exactly is going on, but...
I'm on top of it. My lady does everything, make sure, I'm on top of it. I'm trying,
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So make sure that you are in court the 24th at 8:30. Sit in that courtroom until both of your cases are done, even if you're the last one in there. I would much rather the judge say, hey, Mr. Murray, why are you still here, than you leave and you weren't supposed to have left yet. So we'll get you new paperwork the 24th at 8:30. Make sure you're in court. You're going to get out of here. Don't possess any weapons or drugs once you're out.
Okay, so I'm going right to get released.
You are. Well, unless you're being held on anything else, but you're going to be released on these 2 probation warrants.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Murray. I appreciate your patience. Did I resign that?
Yeah, but I thought more right. You have a card? No, huh? So already left. Yeah, I have his card. I have his card.
That's two, you did the program clear, correct?
Yeah.
I don't.
All right.
Here, it's Mr. Murray. They changed it.
All right. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
My name is Jesus Enriquez. My name is Jesus Manuel Enriquez Gonzalez.
And what's your date of birth?
My birthday is April 12, 1990.
Thank you very much, Mr. Enriquez Gonzalez. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of armed robbery with a deadly weapon, that is a Class 2 felony, 11 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, those are all Class 3 felonies, 2 counts of causing criminal damage, both Class 5 felonies, and 1 count of discharging a firearm in the city limits, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $250,000 cash-only bond. If you post that bond prior to your physical release from custody, you will be affixed with an ankle monitor. If you post that bond and you are released on that ankle monitor, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged underlying offenses took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses. You are also prohibited from possessing any weapons. Last, if you are released from custody, you cannot possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, number 26 on the calendar, Ramon Castaneda Valencia, date of birth 1/10/92, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of resisting arrest, a class 6 felony, 1 count of misdemeanor assault, 1 count of misdemeanor obstruction, and 1 count of misdemeanor criminal damage. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 downtown, and he has a $5,000 secured appearance bond on those allegations. Number 22 on the calendar, Manuel Arturo Ceballos, date of birth 4/26/91, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population and not following orders. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a class 3 felony, 2 count of causing criminal damage, both class 6 felonies, and 1 count of criminal damage, a class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and then a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and he has a $5,000 secured appearance bond. Number 17 on the calendar, Francisco Jarrell Soto, date of birth 5/1/2005, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of aggravated criminal damage by defacing a place of worship, a class 6 felony, and 1 count of misdemeanor assault. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. He has a $2,500 secured appearance bond. Number 41 on the calendar, Jeremiah Gabriel. Is he actually a house call? Is he in this facility in an ISO cell, or has he not yet been transported from 4th Ave?
Gabriel?
Yeah.
Jeremiah, right?
Yes.
He's in a 6 cell.
Okay. Okay. Number 41 on the calendar, Jeremiah Gabriel, date of birth 8/5/88, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke his probation was filed. I've appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next hearing will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30, and he has a $500 secured appearance bond on that warrant. Number 10 on the calendar, John Rodriguez, date of birth 4/17/86, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to disruptive behavior. He is here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke his probation was filed. I've appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment March 26th at 8:30, and he has a $500 secured appearance bond. Number 13 on the calendar, Joel Eli Rodriguez, date of birth 4/27/94, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to bizarre behavior. He is here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when he failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug and misdemeanor shoplifting case. He has a lawyer already assigned to him. His next court hearings will be a new status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 downtown. He has a $500 secured appearance bond on that warrant. Last on the calendar, number 40, Hetty Lizeth Enriquez Arvizu, date of birth 8/11/91, is not in the courtroom because she was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. She is here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of sex conduct with a minor, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend her. Her next court hearings will be a status conference March 25th and a preliminary hearing March 27th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that allegation, I have imposed a $50,000 secured appearance bond. Arizona law requires that she be released on an electronic monitor if that bond is posted. I will also specifically order her not to have contact with any minors. If anything changes when I visit any of these individuals' cell side, the court's final orders will be reflected in their written release decisions. This court will now stand in recess until 2 p.m.